Group 5 Management versus Bernadette Turbington.
Yes.
Good morning, Your Honor. Robert Weiss appearing on behalf of Group 5.
Don't have Miss Turbington sign it.
Bernadette Turbington, not present. Do you wish to take a default, Mr. Weiss?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Turbington is a resident at 3139 Randolph Court Drive, Ann Arbor, Michigan. The rent owing, including court costs, currently is $1,438. I don't believe there was personal service.
There was none.
Like a judgment in that amount, writ to issue in 10 days.
Yes. What was the total amount, sir?
$1,438, Your Honor.
$1,438, including cost.
Yes.
Judgment to the plaintiff. That's by default for possession. Redemption amount in the amount requested with a writ to issue in 10 days.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
Thank
nice
you, sir.
weekend.
You do the same. Eric, is it Lofstrom versus Derek Gideon?
Good morning, Your Honor. Parissa Gazari appearing for plaintiff.
Mr. Gideon?
Yes, sir.
All right. What is plaintiff's claim in this case? This is termination.
That's correct, Your Honor. This is a termination of tenancy case. There is no lease.
All right, there is no lease. All right. Sir, what's your position on this case?
I was just notified of the court documents on May 2nd. But I hadn't heard from the owner of the property in over a year, and I got the summons taped to the door on May 2nd. But prior to that, I hadn't had any contact or any correspondence in a year with him, and so it kind of came out of the blue. And I don't have any problem getting out of the house. It's just a matter of timing. That's all I'm here to try to get.
And I sent a 1-month notice to quit on February 26th with an April 1st move-out date that I mailed Mr. Gideon
All
to.
right.
I never received it. That's all I didn't say you didn't send it. I'm just saying I never received it. I got the summons. I actually have 2 summons from the court, but I never received that document.
Okay, so, sir, you're actually entitled to a 1-week adjournment. Did you want to? I'll adjourn this out 1 week. Maybe you can call on your paperwork is the attorney's office. You can call either Ms. Gazari or someone there and try to work something out regarding a move out.
Okay, that works for me.
All right. So I will adjourn this 23rd.
23rd at 2 p.m.
I'll adjourn this matter to May 23rd, 2025, 2 p.m.
Yes, sir.
2 p.m. That's an in-person hearing, sir.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Court calls case Peninsula Place versus Jawan Carlton.
Parissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Good morning.
Do you have a camera, sir?
Yes.
All right, you turn that on. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $3,070.34, which includes the court costs.
All right. And sir, how are you
Yeah.
intending on getting that paid?
I get financial aid in a couple weeks, so I was just gonna pay the whole thing off, but they forced the court anyways. I told them to just wait. No one listened. I tried to work
All
for
right.
them.
So you're waiting on a financial aid check?
Yes.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjourn it out 1 week, May 23rd, 2025, 2 p.m. Where are you in school?
At Washtenaw Community.
All right. Why don't you double check with them as to when that's going to come in? Usually, well, they sometimes, I think you probably know this, get delayed. So what you may want to do is also contact the attorney's office, see if you can work out a conditional order dismissal when that comes in. Okay, sir?
All
right. All right. So I will set it May 23rd, 2025, 2 p.m.
Okay. Is
That's
that
an in-person hearing, sir.
I'm not gonna be here. Is there any way I can change that? I got a new job that requires me to go to Kentucky.
Well, you might
Louisville.
be able to appear via Zoom, but you'll have to submit the form.
Okay. How do I contact the lawyer's office and submit the form?
The lawyer's office, the Fink office, their number is on your paperwork.
Okay.
And you can contact the clerk's office here at the court to get the form regarding the Zoom appearance.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Peninsular Place versus, is it Kalea Jackson or Rahila Jackson? Sorry.
Marissa Gazari for plaintiff.
She here.
Yeah, she is. Or was. She didn't think she was signing out when she was driving, but then she did sign back.
Kalea Jackson,
But I do not see her.
you don't see her present. She was here and then she said she was signing out.
Yes, because she was driving to work.
Oh, okay, and then she was gonna sign back in. Oh. We're almost at the end of Fink here though.
Yeah, she's got 2 more.
2 more. I'll pass it to see if she pops back in. Court does call the case of Peninsular Place versus Jacqueline Gardner.
Marissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Hi.
Hello, Ms. Gardner. All right. I'll need a camera. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $2,515.81, which includes court costs.
The camera's not working.
All right. Okay, Ms. Gardner,
Sorry.
how are you intending on getting that paid?
I have 400 now, and then I plan to pay 600 plus 3 on the 24th next month or next week. And then I did apply for SCR as well. I'm waiting to hear back from my worker.
For SER, you need to take the form that you got in your packet, the rental assistance form. Or what you can do is download it with the QR code on the screen. And you'll need to file that with the court by Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay.
And you're gonna pay the 400 when?
I could pay it today.
All right. So you pay the 400 today. The other amounts that you have, you said the 24th?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll note the file that you're gonna pay that on the 24th, but you'll have a hearing before that time. And then I'll adjourn this out to May 23rd, 2025 at 2 p.m.
Okay. Is it Zoom?
No, that is in person, ma'am.
Okay. If I'm on maternity leave, so if I end up going in labor, what should I do? Because I'm due
Okay.
next week.
All right,
So sorry.
if you end up going in labor, go have the baby. All right,
Okay.
that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you're gonna have difficulty getting here, there is, we usually don't grant the request, but if you'd let us know what the request is and get the Zoom form into us, we'll take care of that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Provident Asset Management versus Sandra Moore.
Marissa
Yeah.
Gazari for plaintiff.
She's
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Oh, where is she? I'm not picking her up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I got you now. All right.
Okay.
Okay, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $2,515.55, which includes court costs.
All right. And ma'am, how are you intending on getting this paid?
Well, I did contact My Bridges and also, I can't think of the other place that I contacted, but I'm waiting for them to get back to me, see how much they can help me with.
Was it Hawk that you contacted?
Hawk,
or-
yes, Hawk.
Okay, did they give you an appointment?
I have the paperwork and I sent it in, so I'm waiting for Hawk to get back to me. My Bridges said that they called and said they made an appointment to talk to me. So I'm waiting to hear from them and find out when
Okay.
my appointment is.
So, all right. You'll have to file a rental assistance form with the court. It came in
Okay.
your packet and put the information regarding assistance that you're trying to get, okay?
Okay,
And you have to file that by Wednesday. I'll adjourn this matter out to May 23rd, 2025 at 2 p.m. That's an
Okay.
in-person hearing, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay,
all right.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Then this,
The next four, Mr. Friedman.
there, Mr. Freeman, Ms. Jackson did not sign back in. Ms. Kazari, I know you've got one other case. Did you want me to just recall that and put it over? She
Yeah,
signed in. She said she was going to work and was gonna sign back in, but I don't see her yet. Or we can wait a little bit on her, whichever you'd prefer.
I'm fine with putting it over. I have one other hearing though up too that I thought I had for Tri-County Investments versus DeBrito.
Well, they must have put the wrong attorney in JIS because I have that listed as somebody else.
Oh, okay, so, all right, let me do it this way then. Yeah, I think they did list the wrong attorney on this, so this is actually Fink. All right, so I will call Tri-County Investments versus Anthony DeBrito.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
DeBrito, not signed in. Would you like to take a default?
I would, Your Honor.
All right, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, this is a case that was filed following a demand for possession due to damage to property health hazard. The apartment has piles of trash that are spilling out into the hallway and common area. It's causing a serious and continuing health hazard. Plaintiff is requesting entry of a default judgment for possession with a writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession, no redemption amount, writ to issue in 10 days.
Thank you.
And then let me recall this. I don't think she signed back in. Peninsula Place versus Rahelia Jackson. She has
Carissa
not signed back in, but she was here, so I will adjourn this to May 23rd, 2025 at 2 p.m.
Thank you. Have a
Right.
wonderful day.
You do the same.
Thank
Court calls the case of Barnes and Barnes versus Quintavious, is it Scandrett? And Christopher Mayo.
It's just me. Quintavious Scandrett has moved out of his apartment. I'm a football player at Eastern, so when guys on the team transfer and stuff, they just leave and they don't sign over the lease agreement, or they don't take their names off the lease. So it's just me right now.
All right, and you're Mr. Mayo?
Yes, I am.
All right,
That was
and go ahead,
Friedman.
Mr. Friedman.
The total, including costs, is $22.40.
2240. All right, Mr. Mayo, how are you intending on getting that paid?
On Monday, I had put a pay stub in for $1,200 to bring the balance down to $19.48. I think she told me. And then on the 30th, I get paid from the team and also from my job, which I should get around $1,500 to $1,700. So I'd use that also. And then on the let me see, the 10th of May, I will also be getting my second check from my job, and that should be able to get the balance down also.
All right, so you're saying that you gave them how much
1,200.
already? On Monday?
Yes, the 12th.
All right,
I have that, Your Honor. That's part of that's in the
that's
equation.
already included?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that brought it down to the 2240.
Including
right.
costs, yes.
Yes. All right. And so your next check isn't until the 30th?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna tell you to do. You're gonna need to contact the attorney's office, see if you can work out a conditional order dismissal regarding the payment of this balance. And I'll give you a week to do that. The information is on your paperwork. So I'll adjourn this to May 23rd, 2025 at 2 p.m. That is an in-person hearing, sir.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Barnes and Barnes versus Marcus Hargrove.
Ellis Freeman for the plaintiff.
How you doing?
Marcus Hargrove?
Yes.
Oh, you got him. Okay, there he is. Okay. All right. What's plaintiff's claim in this case?
2290 total.
2290. All right. And Mr. Hargrove, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I was waiting on, I did show Jessica that I had my it was a check that was a 21 the that they owed me for my taxes. I forgot the name that they call that check. But I'm supposed to be receiving, I haven't received it yet. I think it was over 21 days, almost 1,500. And I said I was gonna give that towards them on that as well. I have almost 500 and I'm gonna give them next week and just try to just tattle it down as quick as I can.
So you're waiting on a check and you got 500 that you can give them next week. What day next week?
It'll be sometime like Thursday,
All
Friday.
right. So I'm going to put in the file that you're going to pay 500 by the 22nd. I'll adjourn this matter out to May 23rd, 2025. What time? 2 p.m.
Is there any way that I can request for a Zoom?
You can request it. I definitely, this is an in-person hearing. I'm not sure that your Zoom request will be granted. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Court calls the case of Eastern Oaks versus Antoine Silvers.
Ellis Freeman for the plaintiff.
Antoine Silvers, not checked in. If you'd like to take a default, raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead, sir.
It's a termination case, Your Honor. He just moved in to an apartment that the previous tenants who are my next case have left. He's not an authorized tenant. He's not on any lease or application or anything else. He just showed up and moved in and it's tearing the place to pieces.
All right, so he has no lease. All right, judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default for possession. No redemption amount, writ to issue in 10 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Eastern Oaks versus Jeremy Willingham and Willie William and John Kearney.
Ellis Freeman for the plaintiff.
Willingham, William, Kearney. No one is here. You may proceed, sir.
Your Honor, the total $6,032.98.
6,000. I'm sorry, you broke off there.
I'm sorry, 6032.98.
98. Judgment to the plaintiff. That's by default for possession. Redemption amount is the amount requested with a writ to issue 10 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. That does that. All right. Northfield Estates versus Carl Reinman.
Good morning, Your Honor. Rachel Dornbush, Palace Law, on behalf of the plaintiff.
He is. He's at our access point. Okay. Got it. Mr. Reinman?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Now, Your Honor, this is an action for termination of tenancy under the Just Cause statute based on violations of the lease agreement, Your Honor, including defendant's failure to maintain the home and site in a manner consistent with the lease agreement and rules and regulations of the community. A just cause termination notice was issued on March 19th, requiring defendant to vacate on or before April 21st. And to my knowledge, he's still in possession of the property.
All right. And sir, what's your position on this case?
I guess I've been month to month lease, or with no lease, and then I guess month before last, she refused to take rent, and I said, "Gee, it's working on getting things, my screen door broke, and that's my first project. My porch is a project, and skirting gets arranged by the weather regularly and that's, and I guess I'm in process to jump through her hoops some more and all of a sudden, the rent not being taken was a surprise.
Because they're trying to terminate your tenancy, sir.
I guess that's just a surprise.
Okay. Do you want to be represented by an attorney?
Do I want to? That'd be, nice. Yeah.
All right. What you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to contact legal services. All right, let me give you their phone number. It's 665-6181.
665-6181.
Yes, sir. All right, and I'm going to adjourn this out 1 week, May 23rd, 2025 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. So I suggest you contact legal services right away.
Okay.
All right.
1 week.
Yep.
So.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Northfield Crossing versus Holly Bosner. Or Bonser, I'm sorry.
She's not here.
Bonser, she's not here. You'd like to take a default? Did you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. For the record, Your Honor, Rachel Dornbush, Palad's Law, on behalf of the plaintiff. Your Honor, there is rent to retain of $1,651.39, cost of $190 for a total due of $1,841.39. And we'd request entry of a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after the statutory 10-day period.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default. For possession, redemption amount is in the amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Northfield Crossing versus Nicholas Buckland.
Yes, sir.
And Brittany Moore.
Brittany is not here, sir.
All right. All right. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
With cost, Your Honor, $2,132.67.
Sir, there was actually a $1,100 payment made yesterday. I don't know if they have that registered or not.
I don't have that, Your Honor, but it's
all right.
We'll be able to verify that before the next court date.
Yes. So you paid 1,100, so that would bring you down to a little over 1,000. So when are you going to get that paid, sir?
That would be paid next Friday in full, sir.
All right. What time next Friday?
First thing in the morning. I get paid about 6 o'clock in the morning, so about as soon as the office opens.
All right. So why don't we do this? You paid 1,100, then you're going to pay the balance by the 23rd early. So I'll adjourn this matter out to May 23rd, 2025, 1 p.m. All right. Try to get that in and paid. And if everything's paid, it's likely they'll dismiss the case. All right. But it's got to make sure that everything's paid. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Northfield Crossing versus Clarence Carmichael and Barbara Carmichael.
I don't either.
Clarence or Barbara Carmichael? No response. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's rent to retain of $1,690.47. Costs are $246 for a total due of $1,936.47. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested. Writ to issue in 10 days. Northfield Crossing versus Ardell Carson.
Hello.
Hello, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Ardella Gillis. I'm Ardell Carson's daughter.
Okay. Is Miss Carson available or?
No, he is at home watching the grandchildren. I am out in Ann Arbor. I am actually sitting at the courthouse. I thought I had to appear in person.
Okay. All right. Well, he really needs to be here, but do you reside at this address?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. All
And I
right, what
have-
is plaintiff's, what is plaintiff's claim?
With costs, Your Honor, $2,321.75.
All right, ma'am, how is that intending on getting paid?
My father had lost his income last month, which was a shocker to us because we have been on-time payers for years. He's getting his income back through Social Security retirement, and I also receive disability as well. So we'll have a total of close to $4,000, but none of our income won't come until the 30th.
It won't come till when?
The 30th.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna adjourn this out 1 week to the 23rd, 2025 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. I'm gonna suggest that you contact the attorney's office, see if a conditional order of dismissal can be worked out prior to that hearing.
Okay, sir.
All right? Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Crossing versus Faithland, is it Lefker?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay, there you are. Okay. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
With costs, Your Honor, it is $2,054.20.
All right, Ms. Lefker, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I am paying $750 of that today, and I'm also working with a local church to get the rest paid.
So you're gonna pay $750 today.
Yes.
All
I
right.
actually spoke with the property manager, and she agreed to let me pay in installments as of right now. So I had asked if I could pay it off by the 30th completely.
By the 30th, try to get everything paid?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, here's what I'll do. Get the $750 in. I'm gonna adjourn this out 1 week. You may want to contact either the manager or the attorney's office and see if you can work out a conditional order dismissal to try to get it paid by the 30th, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, so that'd be the 23rd at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you. Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Court calls the case of River Ridge versus Douglas Codger. Or Coger. Coger, not present. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's room to retain of $1,491. Court costs are $175 for a total due of $1,666. And we'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Leonard Arnold Jr. and Lindsay Arnold. Leonard or Lindsay Arnold, not present. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's room to retain of $1,756.84. Costs of $242 for a total due of $1,998.84. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Karshina, Karshina Bigham. Bigham, not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There is rent to retain of $4,527.29. Cost of $186 for a total due of $4,713.29. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Tina Carico. Tina Carico, not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's rent to retain of $1,738.50. Costs are $186 for a total due of $1,998.84. $924.50, and we'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Alethea Green. Alethea Green, no response, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's rent to retain of $2,541.43, cost of $186 for a total due of $2,727.43. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Jada Griggs. Said not.
Correct.
Because I don't see. All right. Jada Griggs, no response. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's rent to retain of $6,302.67, costs of $186 for a total due of $6,488.67. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Felicia Hugan, Reginald Hugan. Yeah. No, somebody's here. Are they frozen?
No, their video's off.
Oh, they are. Reginald, Felicia Hugan. Oh, I think. Nothing. Okay, let me pass it. See if they will answer shortly. Court calls case of Arbor Woods versus Patricia Jenkins and Shayna Jackson. Jackson, Jenkins, neither are here. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There is rent to retain of $5,616.85. Costs are $242 for a total due of $5,858.85. And we'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default possession. Redemption amount is in the amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Torrance Johnson.
Your Honor, I believe we have that case marked for dismissal. Let me verify on my end, though. We do.
You do? All right, he is here. Mr. Johnson?
Yes, sir. I'm present.
All right. They're indicating that they're going to dismiss your case. You have a problem with that?
No, I do not have a problem with that. I'm currently up to date on my rent.
Pardon?
I say I'm currently up to date on my rent.
Yeah, that's what they're indicating, that you paid everything and they're going to dismiss this case, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Take care.
All
Case is dismissed without prejudice. Arbor Woods versus Jarrett Lee Smeltkop.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And Sarah Lee.
We're here.
Smeltkop.
We're here.
And
Okay,
that was
there you
also
are.
a dismissal, Your Honor.
All right, folks, they're indicating they're going to dismiss your case. You have a problem with that?
No.
No, but are we gonna get
All
something
right.
saying that it was dismissed?
Fantastic. Pardon?
Are we gonna get something in the mail stating that it was dismissed?
They usually will send in an order, and it's usually sent out. I can't.
Okay.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
All right, thank you. You guys have a good weekend.
You
too.
too,
Bye-bye.
thanks.
Bye-bye.
Arbor Woods versus Brittany LaFloria. Dutch was. Brittany LaFloria?
I'm here.
Okay. I need a camera, and what is plaintiff's claim?
With cost, Your Honor, $3,797.50.
All right, Ms. LaFloria, how are you intending on getting that paid?
For some reason, my camera isn't working, but I paid $19.50 yesterday, so that's already been posted into my account. I did just go to the office because it was a discrepancy when I first signed up. And I did speak with the attorney too about this, that I was told by the leasing agent that I would get a free month. But then the manager went back to try to say that she's not going to honor that. But when I just looked over my lease, it's showing that I was supposed to get a free month. So from what I was told by the young lady that's at the office right now, is that she would speak with the manager to see if they would honor that. So I'm waiting to hear back on that. But they did
All right.
receive a payment of $19.50, which is over a 1 month's rent. So.
And I'm assuming, Ms. Dornbush, you don't show that $19.50 in this
I
amount.
don't yet, Your Honor, but I'll be able to verify that before next Friday.
All right, very good. Ma'am, what I'm gonna do is I'll adjourn your case out May 23rd, 2025 at 1 p.m. is it?
Yes.
At 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. If you're gonna be represented, then let them know that that's your court date. All right, and hopefully we'll have an answer on that rent and everything, and then the credit to your account and see where we are, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Arbor Woods versus Dominique Lucas.
They've been bumping in and out now, so she stays.
Hello? Oh, can't hear you. Oh, she froze.
She froze.
All right, looks like she froze. So, oh, now she's back. Oh, now she's not. Ms. Lucas, can you hear me?
Yeah, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, we're able to hear you.
Okay,
Fantastic.
good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
With court costs, Your Honor, $3,393.16.
All right. Ms. Lucas, how are you intending on getting that paid?
Well, I just paid, what was that, $31.50? I think it applied to my balance last week. So on the ledger online, it was showing me that I owe $15.96, but it was also showing that I owed what she just stated, which I was confused about. I know I can pay $500 today, and I'll have at least $1,500 next Friday, by next Friday, because I didn't know which balance to pay. I don't know if it's the $15.96 or it's the $3,400.
Your Honor, in looking at the ledger, I see a payment on May 7th for $2,800, not for $3,150. So I would just suggest Miss
Well,
Lucas.
it was $2,800, and then there was a $350 payment as well. I just added it all together.
The $350 payment I see, Miss Lucas, is from April 15th. So unless you paid an additional
Oh,
$350.
they put it in. Oh, okay. I thought they because she told, when I took it to the office, she told me they couldn't apply it towards the rent because the whole balance had to be paid at the same time. So when I looked, I just thought it was all applied on the same day. But I'm able to pay $500 today, and I know I'm able to pay at least 15 next week.
The $1,500.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you pay that?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What day can you get that $1,500 paid?
I can have it paid. I'll just say Friday morning, because sometimes my check doesn't come until Friday morning.
All right. So I'll indicate by the 23rd in the morning. Try to get that in as early as you can to them.
Okay.
I'll adjourn this out to May 23rd, 2025 at 1 p.m. That is an in-person hearing, okay?
Okay.
And then we can see exactly where we are on this and how we'll get it all taken care of. All right?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Court does call the case of Arbor Woods versus Tiffany Mitchell.
Hello.
They're both here. Okay. Tiffany, I'm sorry, and Siobhan Mitchell.
Yes.
And Your Honor,
All
we
right.
do have this marked as a dismissal on our end.
All right. You folks have any problem with that? She got a big old smile on her face, so I don't think so. All right, they both do. All right. Okay, this case is dismissed. You guys have a great weekend.
You as well.
Arborwoods versus Geraldo Morales. Probably Geraldo. Morales, not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There is rent to retain of $4,598.64, cost of $186, for a total due of $4,784.64. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arborwoods versus Kiera Morris. Kiera Morris, not here. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We do have this as a dismissal.
Ah, okay. I am assuming there's no objection. Case is dismissed. Arborwoods versus Mohammed Niagando. Oh. And Omar, same last name.
Also a dismissal, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Case is dismissed. Court calls case of Arborwoods versus Latasha Patterson. Latasha Patterson, not here. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's rent to retain of $700.77, costs of $186, for a total due of $886.77. And we'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arborwoods versus Danielle Shepherd. Danielle Shepherd, they are not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There is rent to retain of $3,078.52, costs of $186, for a total due of $3,264.52. And we'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue 10 days. Arborwoods versus Brian Schipple and Deborah Schipple. Brian or Deborah Schipple, no response. You may proceed.
Thank you. There is rent to retain of $1,753. Costs are $242, for a total due of $1,995. And we'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue 10 days. Arborwoods versus Creather Vaughn.
And Your Honor, I believe we have this as a dismissal on our end, but I believe Ms. Vaughn is here.
Yes, she is. Ms. Vaughn, can you unmute? Did you freeze on?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, there
but
you
I
are.
need to explain something, please, while I have your audience. Yes, I would like your audience, just for a second, Your Honor. I do live in Arborwoods, and I'll be living there 4 years come this September. I'm 70. Well, I'll be 71. And August, I asked them when I started renting the home that I was not able to pay on the 1st. I'm only able to pay the 3rd Wednesday of each month from my Social Security and my pension. And that's why I'm late. And it's always going to be like this every month. I've never had a problem with it before, except maybe a couple of times, but that was it. And I don't know what to do or who to speak with. I haven't been getting any notices, and then I just got a notice about a week ago, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. Here we go again. They already know. I don't.
All right, you're breaking up on me, Ms. Vaughn. I think I get it. You don't get your check until the 3rd week.
Yes, sir. And
Okay.
I pay religiously. I never had a problem with that. I won't income, but I can only pay for the 3rd Wednesday of each month. And I'm at my wit's end.
Okay. I don't know, Ms. Dornbush, if there's anything that can be done. That's when her income comes in. Ideally, they'd probably like you to get a month ahead and be able to pay it at the beginning of the month out of the previous check, but I know that's just hard. Sometimes life doesn't go that way, right?
Well, I mean, if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. I just wanted to explain my case, but is there any way with the lady that's here that says it's dismissed, is there any way that they can accommodate me in that way where I can pay once, I mean, on the third Wednesday of each month?
Your Honor, Ms.
I
Vaughn,
always
gonna
say-
have to talk to management about that. I don't have any ability.
Yeah, she doesn't have the authority to do that, so you
Oh.
have to talk with the manager.
Who would that
okay?
be? What's the name? What's the name of the person that's the manager?
Your
I mean,
Honor, the manager that's overseeing the property at present, her name is Dana.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Ms.
Yes, sir.
Vaughn. All right, well, if you show up every month, I'll be happy to see you. All right.
I got you.
Okay.
Thank you. Have
You have a
day.
blessed. You do the same.
All right.
Court calls the case of Arbor Woods versus David Vaughters. David Vaughters, not checked in. You may proceed.
We have that as a dismissal on our end, Your Honor.
All right. Case is dismissed. Court calls the case of Arbor Woods versus Sherelle Watkins. They are not checked in. You may proceed.
Also a dismissal, Your Honor.
Okay. Like the pattern here. All right. Court calls the case of Arbor Woods versus Raquel Webster. Not checked in. Raquel Webster, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's rent to retain of $2,894.84. Costs of $186 for a total due of $3,080.84. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default for possession. Redemption amount in the amount requested with a writ issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Alicia White and Michaela White.
Hello.
Michaela's here. Okay, there she is. All right. What, how much is owing on this? What is plaintiff's claim?
With costs, Your Honor, $3,612.56.
All right. And ma'am, how are you guys intending on getting that paid?
We're going to try to pay something next week. If not, we're just going to leave the property.
Okay. How much were you intending on getting paid next week?
Well, we're trying to see, because they're not taking anything unless it's the full balance. So she's been very hard on us trying to make partial payments because I get paid one week, my mom get paid another week. So she won't take anything unless it's the full payment. So we don't know.
How much do you have now that you can pay?
I don't have anything now. I don't get paid until next week.
Okay. Here's what I'll do so that you guys can make a decision. I'll adjourn this out 1 week, 23rd, 2025 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. If you're intending on moving out, you might want to contact the landlord or contact counsel and try to arrange something along those lines. Okay, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, and
Hello, Judge. I'm sorry. I apologize.
is that Mr. Hugan?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Man,
Arbor Woods versus Felicia Hugan. I knew that. I knew who it was.
man, I apologize.
Versus Felicia and Reginald Hugan. How are you, sir? All right. What is the claim in this case?
The total with cost, Your Honor, is $2,823.91.
All right, Mr. Hugan, how are we going to get this paid?
I'm going to within the next by 2 o'clock I should have $1,300 in, and then the rest will be paid on the 30th.
All right. So you're gonna have 1,300 by sometime
two-
today.
About 2 or 3 o'clock before the office closed, yes.
All right. So I'm gonna put 1,300 today.
Okay.
I'll adjourn this out to the 23rd, May 23rd, 2025 at 1 PM, an in-person hearing. You can contact the attorney and see if you can work something out in terms of a conditional order dismissal before the next court date, okay? If you're not
Okay,
gonna
sir.
have another check till the 30th.
Yes, I won't. Yeah, I won't have another check till the 30th.
All right, okay, see if you can work that out, all right?
I appreciate you. You guys be blessed.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
And I think that's it for you, Ms. Dornbush.
It's indeed, Your Honor, but there is a resident, Ms. Brownlee from Arbor Woods. I think the court had marked that as a dismissal. I just wanted to let Ms. Brownlee know as well that she
Oh,
sign out.
I do see her there. Ms. Brownlee? Are you prompting? Can you? Gwen Brownlee? Okay, I think we sent a message to. Why don't we send a message that their case has been dismissed and see if she picks that up? All right, I think that does it. Court does call the case of Linden Park Apartments versus Brittany Edwards.
Sure, Your Honor, Attorney Frank Narrett for the plaintiff landlord, and I'm filling in for the Whitty Law offices on this case file this morning.
Brittany Edwards, she's here.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, I'll need a cameraman.
Okay, hold on.
What is, okay, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
But Your Honor, as of today's date, we show rent to retain possession $2,900, costs of $159.15 for a total of $3,059.15. This is an action for possession only. No money judgment is being sought.
There was not a second mailing on this. Ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. How are you intending on getting this paid?
Well, my balance that he just spoke on, my balance is only 1,900. I paid on my balance. I only owe 1,900. I'm able to pay the remaining 1,900 on the 28th of this month.
Well, you're entitled to an adjournment, but you're saying that the balance, when did you make a payment?
I made a payment on Wednesday, and I made a payment also the following Wednesday after that as well.
Well, hold on. You're saying you made a payment on this past Wednesday?
Yes, this Wednesday I made $1,000 payment. Last Wednesday I made a $950 payment as well.
All right, hold on. Counsel, do you have a ledger? Do you see those payments or?
I do, Your Honor. I see the $950 payment that was made on April 30th. I do not have on my ledger this the $1,000 payment she references that may have been made a day or two ago.
Got it. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do, ma'am. I'm going to adjourn this matter out to May 23rd, 1 week out from today, 2025 at 12 noon. That's an in-person hearing. What I would suggest you do is you contact the law firm to see if you can work out a conditional order dismissal, since you're indicating you can pay the entire balance shortly after the court date. The 28th is what you're indicating, that Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll see you in a week.
All right, thank you so much.
Your Honor, will you require the plaintiff and plaintiff's attorney to appear in person as well?
Yes, sir. Those are set in person.
Very good. Thank you very
But
kindly.
they can request a Zoom, but yeah, I set them in person.
Very good, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Minion Properties versus KB Care PLLC. And really? Okay. And Chid, Alamelec, I can't, I'm not even gonna give it a shot because I'm gonna mess that entirely up. There are more letters there than. Yeah.
Good morning, Judge.
And Wagray Magana. Go ahead, counsel.
Yeah, good morning, Judge. Scott Munzel appearing on behalf of Minion Properties LLC. Bill Minion is also on the Zoom. Yeah, the person that we deal with is named Karthik. I mean, I think it's a doctor, but I don't see any of the defendants online, but they could be. But
I don't. You don't have any, yeah, we don't have any of those individuals
right.
present. There was no second mailing on this case, so I'd have to adjourn this out in any event, but.
But the court performed the mailing, and then we also had a personal service on them, but.
Right, you had the personal service, but there wasn't a second mailing.
Okay.
But I don't. It says personal services to all defendants, but that's not what.
Well, the other good news, Judge, is that we have had some communications with them. We've kind of discussed a broad outline that would resolve the case. I've sent them an email about entering into a consent judgment. I haven't heard back yet, but I'm fairly comfortable that we're going to be able to reach an agreement that would allow the case to be dismissed, with a consent judgment.
Okay, so here's what I'll do. I'll adjourn this out 1 week.
Judge, I'm going to be.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be out of town on the 23rd. So if it's an in-person requirement, then I guess I would ask you to do it on the 30th.
All right. Why don't I do the 30th, 2025 at
1 p.m.
At 1 p.m.
Okay.
In person.
Thank
All right.
you, Judge. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
Okay, you too.
S&C Holdings versus Ashley Nicely.
Ready, Your Honor.
Hi, I'm Ashley Nicely.
All right. Well, Mr. Thomas.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. And what's the plaintiff's claim in this case?
It's a rent case, Your Honor. Tracy Thomas appearing on behalf of the plaintiff. As of right now, there is $2,452.56 due and owing. That includes court costs.
All right. And ma'am, how are you intending on getting this paid?
So what happened was I ended up switching jobs. I'm a therapist, so I was building up my caseload, and I am now in the tier at my work in which I will be getting a full paycheck. So I was hoping to present the possibility of paying anywhere between $800 and $1,000 bi-weekly until it's paid in full.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to suggest you do, if that's a possibility, when's the next time you can make a payment?
So the next payment would be on the 23rd, and then the 6th, then the 20th, and that should catch me up plus pay my rent. Or yes, I believe.
All right, here's what I'll do. I'm going to adjourn this out 1 week. I'd
Okay.
suggest that you contact Mr. Thomas, see if you guys can work out a conditional order dismissal.
Okay.
And resolve this matter, okay?
Okay, absolutely, will do.
So I will adjourn this to May 23rd, 2025 at
12 p.m.
At 12 p.m. That is an in-person hearing.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Did you say
Thank
12
you.
p.m., Your Honor?
12 p.m.
Yes, 12 noon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bushwood Properties versus Olivia Vitale.
Good morning, Your Honor. David St. Clair on behalf of the plaintiff.
And Alexander Camp.
Your Honor, I sent a dismissal in to Miss Weidling probably 9:45. We found out this morning that the property was vacant.
All right. All right. we probably didn't get a chance to pick that up. That's fine. Case is dismissed.
That's my only one at 10. I'll see you this afternoon.
Yes, sir. Hamptons of Clover Lane versus Charles Frierson III and Joseph Brooks.
Good morning,
Here you are,
Judge.
ma'am.
Jen Wilburn, P83143 for the plaintiff.
All right. Is that Mr. Friars?
Yes, your
I get, okay, gotcha. All right. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Right now, Judge, rent $4,185.77, cost $214 for a grand total $4,399.77.
All right. Sir, how are you guys intending on getting that paid?
So later on today, we're planning on submitting at least 2,500.
So $2,500 today?
Yes.
All right. What I'll do is I'll indicate in the file that you're going to pay that. I'll adjourn this out to May 23rd, 2025 at 3 p.m. That's in person. And then we'll see how we're going to work out the rest.
Is that a Friday, sir?
Pardon?
Is that a Friday, the 23rd?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Sutton Ridge 1. Got this all spelled wrong. Sutton Ridge 1 versus Taldala Brown.
Good morning again, Judge. Jen Wilburn, P83143 for plaintiff.
Taldala Brown. She's here. Oh, there. Okay, I got a camera. Okay. Ms. Brown, can you unmute? You had your camera, but where'd you? This is, yeah, I know. That's why I'm holding on because I don't think council has another case to call. I don't want to pass it every. Oh, she almost got it. You almost got it, Ms. Brown. Listen, her. Okay. All right, Miss Brown, do this. Wave your hand if you can hear me. Okay. So we'll try it this way. What is plaintiff's claim in the case?
Your Honor, right now, there's an outstanding rental balance, $4,621.18, plus the court costs of $175 for a total of $4,796.18.
All right. Turn. Okay, Ms. Brown. Are you going to be able to get that paid at some point? You can just nod. Okay. Have you sought any type of assistance to get that paid? You haven't? You're going to have the money? Okay. She told me to hold on. I don't know. She froze. All right. She's hitting it and it's not. She's gone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, she dropped. Counsel, I'm just going to not hold you up. I'm just going to adjourn this out to the 23rd.
Very good, Judge.
2000.
Same time, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, yes.
Very good,
In
Judge.
person, and we'll let her know. Okay,
Thanks
thank
so
you.
much. Have a good weekend.
You do the same.
Thank you.
Six Trails versus Peyton LaFoon.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sydney Katz on behalf of plaintiff.
Don't have that checked in.
LaFoon. They are not present. You have the second mailing. If you raise your right hand to be sworn, you may proceed. Do you solemnly swear affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Go ahead, sir.
Your Honor, this is a non-payment of rent possession case as indicated there's second mailing by the court. To the best of my knowledge, the defendant is not in the military, a minor or unable to stand trial. To the best of my knowledge, the property is being kept habitably. Currently, there's a balance due of $1,067 of past due rent, $175 of cost for a total of $1,242. Requesting a default judgment in that amount with the writ to be issued after May the 27th.
Yes, judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default, or possession redemption amount in the amount requested with the writ issued 10 days.
Thank you,
Six
Your
Trails versus Sean Ames.
Good morning again, Your Honor. Sidney Katz on behalf of plaintiff.
Sean Ames, not present. You may proceed.
Your Honor, this is a non-payment of rent possession case. As indicated, there's second mailing by the court, or I don't know if it was mentioned, but there is second mailing by the court. To the best of my knowledge, the defendant is not in the military, a minor unable to stand trial. To the best of my knowledge, the property is being kept habitably. Currently, there's a balance due of $1,253 of past due rent, $175 of cost, for a total of $1,428. Requesting a default judgment in that amount with the writ to be issued after May the 27th.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession redemption amount is in the amount requested with the writ issued 10 days. I think that's it for you, sir, correct?
Your Honor, I had two that were on the docket, but I dismissed them. I'm hoping they were taken off.
Yeah, I think they came off the dock for this morning.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good day, Your Honor.
Thank you. You do the same. HP Foreclosure Solution versus Bianca Johnson.
Morning, Your Honor. Adam Devlin, P72877 for the plaintiff.
Bianca Johnson. No response. This is a termination case. You have paid for second mailing. You raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear a firm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead. What is your claim?
Your Honor, this is a termination for failure to permit inspection after foreclosure by advertisement pursuant to MCL 600, 3237, and 3238. We have heard nothing from the occupants, defendants, or mortgagors. We are looking for default judgment possession only, writ dated the 27th of May.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession.
I will email it, Your Honor. Have a good day.
All right. Writ to issue in 10 days. Augusta Woods versus Tina Brooks.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Tina Brooks. No response. If you'd like to take a default, please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear a firm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right. What is the claim?
Claim is a non-payment of rent, judgment possession only, Your Honor. Rent to retain is $1,770.28. We have costs in the total of $179 for a total of $1,949.28. We'd ask that if that amount goes unpaid, a writ issue on or after May 27th, 2025. To the best of my knowledge, Ms. Brooks is above the age of 18, is competent, is not a member of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession redemption amount is in the amount requested with the writ issue in 10 days. Augusta Woods versus Paul Reedy and Nella Reedy. No, Mr. Rest saw him.
Your Honor, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, now we can't. You muted yourself, Mr. Reedy.
Oh, crap. I don't know what I did, but it's like on driving mode. I'm sitting in my truck, but I'm not driving. Can you hear me? But not, can you hear me? But not.
We can hear you. And from previous cases, I recognize your voice. So I know it's you. All right.
Good morning, Paul Reedy.
All right. What is the claim in this case, counsel?
Thank you, Your Honor. It's a non-payment possession only. Rent to retain is $560.69. Costs in the total of $218 for a total of $778.69, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Reedy, how do you intend on getting that paid, sir?
I'll hopefully have it paid by next Friday. I get paid on the 3rd.
On the 3rd?
That's when I get my disability checks, but I hopefully have it paid by next Friday if I got to go back to court or whatever, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'll do, I'm just gonna indicate that you'll pay the balance by the 23rd. Try to pay it before the hearing time, but I'll set the hearing. I'll give you an adjournment to the 23rd, 2025 at 3 p.m. That's an in-person hearing, but if you get it paid before then, it's likely that they'll dismiss.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it very much, Your Honor. Have a great weekend.
You do the same, sir.
Thank you.
Court calls case Augusta Woods versus Eric Roden and Richard Robbins.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Good morning. This is Teresa Robbins, Richard Robbins' wife. He works
Yes, ma'am.
afternoons, so if possible to have the meeting without him.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You reside at the premises, I presume?
Correct.
All right, very good. All right, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judgment, or not a judgment, I'm sorry. Possession only, non-payment. Rent to retain is $1,944.89, costing the total of $218 for a total of $2,162.89.
And Ms. Robbins, how are you guys intending on getting that paid?
So I did pay $250 this morning. I plan on paying another another $900 next week. I don't know if we get paid on Wednesdays, and then I can have the remaining balance of $1,000 paid the following Wednesday, if possible.
Okay, so just hold on a second. You paid $250. You can pay $900 by what day?
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, the 21st.
Yeah, let me look.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I got a calendar here. So gonna pay that by the 21st, and then you don't get another check till the following Wednesday, right?
Correct.
Okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll do that. I'll adjourn this over to May 23rd, 2025 at 3 p.m. That'll be for an in-person hearing. You can contact plaintiff's office and see if you can enter into a conditional order dismissal to try to resolve it, since it looks like you're going to be able to get it paid before the end of the month. Okay.
Yes, I do have a question. With his afternoon schedule, he leaves for work at 4 o'clock. Is there any way to have like the noon slot? I know, or like one of the.
No, I have to set it by complex.
Okay.
It's hard for us to arrange. If you can be here, then that'd be good enough anyway.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, thank you guys so much.
See, you're married to him, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I'd rather have you here because you're probably the brain trust anyway. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right. Take care, ma'am. Have a great weekend.
You as well. Thank you.
Augusta Woods versus Tanya Rusnick.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Ms. Rusnick.
Good morning. I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay. All right. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
It is a non-payment possession only. We're showing a rent to retain of $1,471.89, costing the total of $179 for a total of $1,650.89.
All right. Ms. Rusnick, how are you intending on getting that paid?
This morning we made a payment of $400. My husband gets paid bi-weekly, and we were going to pay the remaining $1,072 on the 30th.
Okay, so here's what we'll do. You're going to pay, you paid $400.
Correct.
Okay. So then what I'll do is I'll adjourn this out 1 week, 23rd, 2025, 3 p.m. 3 p.m. That's in person. What I'm going to suggest you do is contact plaintiff's office, the attorney's office, see if you can enter into a conditional order dismissal that'll get you time to get it all caught up before the end of the month. Okay.
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You as well.
Augusta Woods versus Patrice Tishma and Phyllis Terwilliger.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P 87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Tishma Terwilliger. Neither are here. You've previously been sworn. You may proceed, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a non-payment of rent possession only. We'd request a default judgment. The total due of rent is $803.48, costs in the total of $218 for a total of $1,021.48. We ask that if that amount goes unpaid, a writ issue on May 27th, 2025. No money judgments entered at this time. To the best of my knowledge, defendants are above the age of 18, are competent individuals, are not members of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested. Writ issue 10 days. BO Properties versus David Call.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P 87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Mr. Call. They're here. Well, here it comes. Okay. Can you unmute, Mr. Call? There you go. All right. Okay. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Non-payment of rent, Your Honor, possession only. We're showing a rent to retain of $3,113.25, costs in the total of $175 for a total of $3,288.25.
All right. Mr. Gall, how are you intending on getting that paid, sir?
My share of the rent is actually $404. The other group, I don't know their name, but my case manager who's on this call somewheres, the money will be paid within the month. I know that. The check's in the mail according to the people, because I deal with CMH.
All right, Mr. Call, is it Miss Dumas that's your case manager?
Yes. She knows.
Yes. Okay. Miss Dumas, what can you help us out here? Oh, you're muted.
I requested $2,391.25 from Washtenaw County to be paid to help get him caught up, and that I have been notified by the people who make those payments that has been sent electronically. Bill, I don't think they have received it as of this morning, but it is electronically on its way. Also, he has housing voucher and community management CMA. Their portion is also on its way electronically. So then he is going to pay $404 at the end of the month. So by then, everything should be caught up.
Wonderful. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'll adjourn it out 1 week, the 23rd, 2025 at 3 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. Hopefully those electronic payments will be in, and then the only thing that'll be left is what will be his portion, which is going to catch up by that point. But I'll set it for the 23rd at that time, and let's see exactly where we are at that point. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Dumas. Thank you, Mr. Call. Take care.
Yeah.
BO Properties versus George Machat.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P 87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Machat. Okay, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
This is a non-payment possession only, Your Honor. We're showing a rent to retain of $474.55, costs in the total of $175 for a total of $649.55.
Mr. Machat, how are you going to get that paid, sir?
Your Honor, first of all, this original paperwork was for an amount of $1,096 for this court case. I totally wiped that out. I paid the whole 1,096. So
Okay, so hold on a second. Hold on,
Okay.
hold on.
Yes, sir.
And how much is your monthly rent?
It's 550.
All right.
So what I'm saying
So,
is, okay.
go ahead.
Well, I never received any paperwork about this. This is something new. Let me go back. This paperwork for this court
Have you
date
paid
today.
have you paid your May rent?
No, I pay half of it.
Okay, okay, that's what this basically is amounting to.
Yeah, but the paperwork I got, Your Honor, was for another
I
amount.
know, and if you
And I
look at
wiped
the
that out.
date, that's April. They're now in court in May, you owe May rent. They're entitled to go after May rent.
Yeah, I'm still in May. I get paid every 2 weeks. I've talked to the guy. I told him I was going to pay on the 26th when my check comes in. I'm surprised that they sent it to court. I've been here 3 years, so I don't know why they doing this. I don't know. I'm going to pay it on the 26th.
That's when you next get paid?
Yes.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do, counsel. I would normally kick it out to the 23rd. If he doesn't get paid to the 26th, I'll just do this so that because the 26th is a holiday anyway. So I'm going to kick this out 2 weeks and maybe over plaintiff's objection, but that's what I'm going to do. May 30th, 2025 at 1 p.m. You got to make sure to get that paid, sir. That way it will end. And then it won't carry over into the next month. All right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Court calls the case BO Properties versus Latasha Williams.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Hello,
Latasha Williams?
I'm here.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. How much is owing on her case?
Thank you, Your Honor. Rent to retain of $1,465, cost in the total of $175 for a total of $1,640.
All right. And ma'am, how are you intending on getting that paid?
So I did pay 6:30 this morning of that,
Okay.
and I'm going to continue to pay on it until I'm caught up.
Pardon?
I'm gonna continue to pay on the rent until I'm caught up. I get paid every 2 weeks, so hopefully by the time probably May 30th, I will be caught up, and then I can pay.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna adjourn this case out 1 week, 23rd, 2025 at 3 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. I'm gonna suggest that you contact the attorney's office, see if you can work out a conditional order dismissal to get this paid up, okay?
Okay. I'm sorry, can you say the time again?
It's 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock? All right,
Yes, ma'am.
next Friday? Okay.
Pardon,
right,
next
thank you.
Friday, 3 o'clock, that's in person.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
BO Properties versus Jacqueline Poole.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
She is not present. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This would be a judgment possession only default request. Rent to retain is $786.97, cost in the total of $175 for a total of $961.97. We'd ask for a writ date of May 27th, 2025. No money judgments entered at this time. To the best of my knowledge, Ms. Poole is above the age of 18, is a competent individual, is not a member of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ issue 10 days. BO Properties versus Justina Youngblood.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Not checked in. Justina Youngblood, no response. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This would be a default judgment, possession only. Rent to retain is $1,574.94. Cost in the total of $175 for a total of $1,749.94. We'd ask for a writ date of May 27th, 2025. No money judgment is entered at this time. To the best of my knowledge, Ms. Youngblood is above the age of 18, is a competent individual, is not a member of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ issue 10 days.
Thank you.
Woodview Commons versus Maria Ballard.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of the plaintiff.
Maria Ballard, not checked in. You do have second service. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'd ask for a default judgment, possession only. Rent to retain is $2,214.94. Costs are in the total of $175 for a total of $2,389.94. We'd ask for a writ date of May 27th, 2025. No money judgment is entered. To the best of my knowledge, Ms. Ballard is above the age of 18, is a competent individual, is not a member of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ issue in 10 days. Woodview Commons versus Joseph Dykstra and Morgan Dykstra. Dykstras, they are not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'd ask for a default judgment, possession only. Rent to retain is $2,625.63. Cost in the total of $214 for a total of $2,839.63. We'd ask for a writ date of May 27th, 2025. No money judgment is entered. To the best of my knowledge, the defendants are above the age of 18, are competent individuals, are not members of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ issue 10 days. Arbor Meadows versus Elizabeth Cornelius and Michael Cornelius.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Cornelius, no response. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is default judgment, possession only. Rent to retain is $2,737.48. Cost in the total of $214 for a total of $2,951.48. We'd ask for a writ date of May 27th. No money judgment is entered. To the best of my knowledge, defendants are above the age of 18, are competent individuals, are not members of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Court calls the case of Arbor Meadows versus Pedro Quijada.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Quijada, they have not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Default judgment, possession only. Rent to retain is $1,036.10. Cost in the total of $175 for a total of $1,211.10. We'd ask for a writ date of May 27th, 2025. No money judgment is entered. To the best of my knowledge, the defendant is above the age of 18. Is a competent individual, is not a member of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ issue in 10 days. Arbor Meadows versus Diana Lynch Miller.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Lynch Miller, not here. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Default judgment, possession only. Rent to retain is $1,937.84. Cost in the total of $175 for a total of $2,112.84. We'd ask for a writ date of May 27th, 2025. No money judgment is entered at this time. To the best of my knowledge, the defendant is above the age of 18, is a competent individual, is not a member of the military, and the premises were kept in habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ issue in 10 days. Arbor Meadows versus Don Ho.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Don Ho, not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Default judgment, possession only. Rent to retain is $942.80. Cost in the total of $175 for a total of $1,117.80. We'd ask for a writ day of May 27th, 2025. No money judgment is entered. To the best of my knowledge, the defendant is above the age of 18, is a competent individual, is not a member of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested with a writ issue in 10 days. I think that's it for you, counsel.
Yes, it is, Your Honor. I appreciate the court's time today. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too. They have no counsel. Kevin Coy versus Greg Munzer. Come right up to the podium there, sir.
Salivary glands, so
Okay, that's fine. All right, what's your name?
Gregory Munzer.
All right. And is Kevin Coy here?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I need a camera.
I'm not sure why it's not populating right now.
What's your claim in this case while you work on that?
We filed a notice to quit. We are in code violations out at the 22 Medi Drive property. Mr. Munzer is living there. So the fire marshal with Scioto Township has notified us that he's living there and we need to have him removed along with others as well. Also, we are in code violation. Keith Deswan with Scioto Township is kind of walking us through this process to have him removed. We have a blight, an order blight out there as well.
Okay, well. Who's the owner of the property?
So my dad is the owner of the property. He is 83 years old and no longer able to do this. This is how it's kind of in terms of the blight has gotten out of hand out there. And so I'm taking that over to work with Keith Deswan, the code enforcement officer with Scioto Township, to get things cleaned up out there.
Okay, if you're not the owner of the premises, there has to be some legal authority for you to act. I mean, I get what you're telling me, but I've got to have some legal authority to act because you brought the case in your name, but you're not the owner of the premises.
I put the owner of the premises on the original paperwork.
Sir, I understand that. I'm looking right at it.
Okay.
But you're listed, because of the way that you did it, you're listed as the plaintiff in the case. On the summons, you're listed as the plaintiff. You put that Richard was the owner of the property. You did that on the complaint, but not in the caption on the complaint.
Yeah, okay.
And in any event, I'm not sure that you would be able to act on this. So here's what I'm going to suggest to you, sir. I get the circumstances that you're in and what you've explained. Rather than dismiss it because the party is improper, given the circumstances of what you explained, my suggestion to you is that you get an attorney just to represent your dad for this purpose. That's probably going to be your easiest way.
So are we going to have to do another 30-day wait?
What did I just say? I just said, if I dismissed it, you would have to.
Okay.
I said, rather than dismissing it, my suggestion to you is to get an attorney to represent your father, because you can't do it in this way.
Okay.
Okay. How long will that take you? I usually adjourn it out a week, but how long will that take you think, to get an attorney to step in?
I guess I don't know the process in terms of how long it takes to get an attorney to show up for this. I can
do the 23rd or the 30th, whichever is going to fit you better, sir.
I will
Well,
do
hold on a
the-
second. Hold on a second, Mr. Coy. Sir, are you going to get an attorney to represent you?
Sir, I'm momentarily going to be out. These things that they've claimed, I'd like to respond to.
Well, I don't really need a response at this point because I've got to have the case in its proper fashion. So you said you're going to be out of the premises?
Yes, sir.
When are you planning on leaving?
You know, over the weekend, I'm going to be real close. Maybe I'm just sweeping up, but.
So
I've
hold
been
on a
out-
second. If I put this over to next week, you're going to be out of the premises? You think?
Yeah, you know, I believe I can.
Okay, so Mr. Coy?
Yep.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to put it out 2 weeks. I'm just going to put it out a week. Okay? This may resolve itself because he might be out. But if he's not, what I'm going to suggest you do is contact, you can contact Washtenaw County lawyer referral, which was on the paperwork or something like that, to try to find an attorney. But usually, if you get right on it, an attorney can appear within the week. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So we'll do that, but what it sounds like is it might take care of itself, but we'll see. So May 23rd, 2025 at 12 noon. And that's an in-person proceeding. Okay?
Okay, so just our attorney has to be present, is that correct?
Pardon?
Just the attorney has to be present?
Yeah, if you get an attorney and they show, then you're good.
Okay, May 23rd at noon, correct?
Yes, sir, in person.
Okay.
Okay, thank you guys, both of you. We'll see you then.
May I say something? For my record?
Well, what did you want to, hold on, Mr. Coy, before you sign off, what do you want to say, sir?
I am paid up on the rent up to the 1st, so I'll be taking care of the rest when I'm out. But this blight that they've talked about, the senior owners of the place, I had great communication with them. The younger sons have allowed this blight to occur. I have no blight. My single shop is totally safe, clean. I'm on the way out. Everything is picture perfect. I've always kept it.
Okay, sir, if you want to contest the eviction.
No,
Then-
I want to be out.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then,
But the reputation, that's all
no, I hear
Okay.
you, but it sounds to me like they've got issues with the township. They're trying to get you removed from the premises. On the other hand, it sounds like you want to leave. So it looks like it may resolve itself.
Yes, and I'm working around the clock to get out as fast as I can. I have valuables.
Okay, all right.
My
Yeah,
livelihood of
Mr. Munster has
course.
been great. He's always paid. And really the blight is not his blight for the most part. You know, he has a great reputation with us. Unfortunately, the code enforcement officer is pushing people out. We would like to have the people removed. We have to follow what the South Township is asking us to do.
Got it. I got you. Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you both.
Just one last thing, that township. Boy, I wish somebody would sit me down and investigate them because we've not been approached by general people at all, not with the least bit of respect. And there is no need for this in my life. I have served upside down and backwards. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank
I
you.
really appreciate you letting me come in and
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem, sir. Thank you for coming down.
I watched all the time.
All right.
I'm glad to have you. I said, oh man, I got a tear shake.
Okay.
Old school, you know?
Yep. Take care,
That's the
sir.
problem here is I'm not dealing with old school anymore.
Gotcha.
So that's the whole thing.
All right. You take care. Thank you, Mr. Coy.
Okay, there was also the
You got another one.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Kevin Goy versus Tori McLean. The
Correct.
tenant is not here.
And really, in terms of the blight, this is Tori's responsibility for the most part.
Got it. Okay. Tell you what. Are they still in the property? The McLeans?
I am going to assume when we've tried to remove both and all these individuals. This is why we're here today. They're not moving. The only time that Tori has been in contact with us is when he was served the papers for the court date. So yes, I'm going to assume everybody's still living there, whether they are or not. I don't know that for sure.
Okay, so, and again, I'm appreciating where you are and what you need to do on these. I'm going to adjourn this over to that same date and make the same suggestion that I made regarding the proper plaintiff on the case.
Okay.
Because what will happen, and I just so that you, because I'm not trying to cause any difficulty, if I gave you a judgment, which would be difficult to do today because I don't have a second mailing anyway, but if I gave you a judgment, they could come back in and set it aside, basically claiming you're not the owner. So I don't want you in that boat. So
okay. Trying to is that the summons you're saying that I did not fill it out properly?
no, okay, so I'm not allowed to give legal advice. I'll just say this much, that you listed yourself as the plaintiff, but even if you had listed your father as the proper plaintiff, which would be the owner,
yes,
you would not be able to come in and represent him unless you're an attorney.
Okay, so we did this actually in Chelsea court office maybe 10 years ago in this fashion, where I was the representative and I have no ownership over the property. I don't know. I guess that's why we were going this route again.
Yeah, no, people do this all the time. They just can't, it can't be done that way because you can't represent another individual. It's just the way that it is.
Okay.
So May 23rd, 2025, 12 noon.
You said there's a website, Washtenaw County Lawyer Referral. Is that correct? If I do a Google?
Yes, you can call the Washtenaw County Bar Association and ask them for a lawyer referral number. I don't have, hang on, I don't think I have it in front of me. Pardon? I don't have it in front of me. The other thing, sir, is I know this afternoon, there are a series of lawyers on that represent landlords. And if you see them on the stream, certainly you can contact their office. I can't tell you to contact any particular one, but.
Could you tell me the last individual that went through a lot of them? His last name was Burns. You can't just say that. The last attorney that was on speaking, his last name was Burns. You're not able to give me that first name?
I can't give you, no, I can't do that way.
All right.
All right,
Okay.
you got.
The number for the referral service for Washtenaw County Bar in the chat.
We're gonna put the lawyer referral service number in the chat, so it at least get you that far. Okay?
Gotcha. Much appreciated.
All right, thank you. We'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
The last one, no one showed up for that case. I don't have an attorney.
All right, Ann Arbor Commercial Realty LLC versus Scott Sendesis. He's actually here.
Yes. Good morning,
got-
Your Honor. Nicholas Ryan Opaleski appearing on behalf of the plaintiff in this matter.
Right, and your name, sir?
Good morning. I'm Scott Sendes, Your Honor.
Sendis. All right. Okay, this is non-payment of rent case. Counsel, how much is owing?
So, Your Honor, at the time of filing, there was $24,750 due and owing. Another $1,650 has been added to that. So we're looking at a total dispute of, apologies, of $26,400.
That's not inclusive of any cost, correct?
That's not including any cost, no, Your Honor. This is just,
All right.
that's just the amount due and owing.
All right. And sir, how are you intending on getting that paid if you believe that it's owed?
Your Honor, I don't agree with those numbers. I actually had a verbal agreement with the plaintiff I'm in the process of moving out. So I have asked him for more time to move out. This is a 10,000 square foot commercial building packed to the rafters, so it's not like a one-bedroom apartment I can move out of, overnight. So I've just asked him for more time to move out. I thought we'd agreed on that. I told him I can't continue paying rent and move out at the same time, and we both agreed that it was best for both parties if I just got everything out and be done with the whole thing.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this over 1 week. The May 23rd, 2025 at 12 noon. What I'm gonna suggest that you do, sir, is maybe contact the attorney's office, see if you guys can work something out between now and then. Because they're requesting that you move out, but they're also requesting a money judgment. So something's gonna have to be worked out along those lines. All right?
Okay. I appreciate that.
Your Honor,
All
is
right,
that noon? Is that noon hearing? Is that in person or is that?
It is. It's an in-person hearing.
Wonderful.
Okay?
Thank you, Your
Noon for
Honor. You have a
what's the
great day.
I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you, folks.
What was the day? I'm sorry.
It's the 23rd at 12
23rd.
noon.
At noon, in person.
In person.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Court does call the case of Arbor Woods versus Sherry Taylor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Rachel Cornbush, Palace Law on behalf of the plaintiff.
Hello.
Hello,
What's your name?
Mashari Taylor.
All right. And where are we on this case?
Your Honor, this is the plaintiff's motion to set aside the dismissal and to reinstate the case. Your Honor, my understanding is that the request to dismiss this case made in February was done in error by plaintiff. Your Honor, no payments have been made by Ms. Taylor on the ledger since October of last year. And the rental balance due and owing at present is $11,414.78.
11-4.
11,414 and 78 cents.
78. I got it. Okay. Ma'am, this is plaintiff's motion to reinstate the case. Do you have a position on that?
At the time I was looking for a job and I was trying to get help from the state. I was also having trouble because I just buried my brother in February, and in that time frame I lost my job in May and my unemployment stopped and I didn't know it. And I have just recently got a job and I got about 2,000 and something, I forgot how much already, and I was gonna pay it, but they said they don't accept partial payment, and I was confused.
Okay. Well, right now I'm dealing with the plaintiff's motion to reinstate the case, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grant, this says to set aside, but that's not right.
It may be to set aside the dismissal, Your Honor.
Dismissal, got it, okay. It was cut off on one portion. All right. All right, so I'm going to grant their motion to set aside the dismissal, all right, and reinstate the case. So the motion to reinstate the case is granted. I don't see an appearance at the first hearing, so ma'am, are you going to seek other assistance or what?
Yes, we are seeking assistance with DHS. I also have to call Hawk and stuff.
All right. So you said you have two, how much do you have?
Two.
Yeah, who are you?
That's my mom. She's on my lease too.
Okay, come on now. How much?
$2,053 right now, and we got help coming. We're supposed to have some coming soon. We don't know exactly the date it's coming, so that's why we was trying to get a payment plan with the back rent. We could pay the main rent, we just can't pay the back rent. right now. Oh, I can come up.
Okay, what's your name, ma'am?
My name is Kimberly Hendricks.
Okay, all right. And so right now you have $2,053?
Yes, because only reason we didn't give nothing to them, because they keep telling us they don't take partial payments. We paid November rent, and we was doing that electronically over the system, and we got the receipt saying it was paid. They say we haven't paid it, but we thought it was paid because our receipts say paid.
Okay, but did the money come out?
I don't
know.
know. It was in your account.
I
Did it come
don't
out?
know, because after we paid it, I stopped paying attention to my account and was looking for a job and stuff.
Okay. All right. So you have that 2,053, you have that in cash?
We have that in money orders right now.
Or you have it in money orders?
Yes.
Okay. All right, what I'm gonna do is, and I don't know how this is all gonna turn out. It doesn't mean that they're agreeing to do anything.
I understand.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna order you to pay that $2,053
Okay.
to the plaintiff.
Mhm.
All right. And I'll order plaintiff to take it. I understand their policy, but they'll take that. That'll at least reduce some of the balance.
Yes,
But-
and if they do accept it, like on the first, when we get to pay the rent, I could pay the regular balance and add some extra to it until we get the money
Well, I don't know what they're gonna,
is it what they're gonna say?
yeah, I mean, they may say we're not gonna do that, so you
Right,
need to
I
be
understand.
prepared for that, but it's also a substantial amount that is owing. And
Correct.
it hasn't been paid. So my objective is, and again, I don't know what they're going to agree to, if they're going to agree to anything, but certainly they'd agree to, if you're paying something,
Yes.
you're more likely, but it may turn out that they take the money that's here and then say, well, we're not going to do that because there's still 9,000 something owing.
Right.
How much is your monthly rent?
1511.
Okay, and see, so you pay this, and then really effectively, if this thing were to even click into the next month, and I don't know that it will, but if it clicks into the next month, you've only knocked 500 off.
I understand.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
but we
So,
have some money coming soon, so that's why we was trying to hope we can get on a payment plan or something.
well,
Maybe we could just talk to them.
here's what I'm gonna do, because I'll treat this in this way. This is, well, I won't say unusual, but it's not something that's normally done. I'm gonna adjourn it out 1 week. Okay?
Okay.
And to the 23rd at 1 PM. Again, that's an in-person hearing.
Okay.
Okay? That money needs to be paid to the landlord.
We just take it up to them?
I need it paid today.
Oh, we got it right now.
All right.
You drop it off.
Yeah, drop it off there, pay that to them. That'll reduce some of this balance, but
Okay.
I'll just be honest with you, you guys would have to come up with a whole lot more than this.
We know, we got money coming. I just can't say directly when it's coming right now, because we working with this community agency. We help with my cousin, and we have a lump sum of money coming from that. Plus,
How much
she
do
just
you think
started
is
back.
coming from that?
It should be close to 6.
6,000?
Yes,
Okay, but you don't know when.
not exactly yet. We'll find out later on today or next week.
Okay, all right, so you might have 6,000 coming from an agency. of
Yes.
some type. All right, well, that might put you into a ballpark that something can be worked out, but it'd get to 2 over there, because that'd be 8. Nearly 8 out of the 11, so.
Okay.
That'd be substantial progress, but, okay?
Mhm.
So 1 o'clock next week. Let's see where you are when you get that information on the assistance. Make sure to get that and let the court know and let the plaintiff know.
Okay.
6,000, okay?
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Arbor Woods versus Angela Cater.
Well,
Hello, Ms. Cater.
Hello.
All right, I set this for a hearing because it was coming close to the judgment. How much do you have owing on her account at this point?
Your Honor, the ledger reads $6,923.50. I know that there was some money at escrow that was released on or about April 25th when Ms. Cater filed her first motion. The court denied the motion but did release escrow. According to the motion, there was 1,600 released at that point. We don't have that money yet. And then
So
there
you don't have the 16
correct.
that was released.
Correct. And then the second motion indicated 1 month's rent was deposited, but I'm not entirely sure how much was, and I assume that's still in the court's escrow.
So I'm just trying to track this because did you receive 500 from us?
The ledger, Your Honor, shows a $1,500 payment on 4/10, a $2,100 payment on April 24.
Got it. Okay,
That left a balance of $52,1775, and then obviously the May rents come due.
gotcha. So, okay, so you got the 21 in that one. Okay. Cause that's, and then I have, well, that's that one. We're reading, that's 15, that's closed, that's closed, that's closed. There's 16 in the 18. Right. Okay. So what I have currently in escrow is 3463.
Okay, so 3463 plus.
Well, and I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. The 16 that I ordered released, they just haven't released it yet.
That's correct.
Okay, that's where I was getting confused.
Okay.
So that includes the 16 that I ordered released.
Gotcha. Okay, so there was another 18,
63.
Putting the total at 3463. Okay, that makes sense.
3463. So if the balance you have now, if I don't have anybody to do my math here.
I'll do your math.
So the amount that's currently owing is how much?
$6,923.50. And what did I tell you we have?
We have 3463.
So I've got 3460 and 50 cents left over.
Oh, not, yeah.
Yeah, how much?
34.60 and 50 cents is the remaining balance.
34.60
and 50 cents.
Okay. And that's through May.
Correct.
All right, Ms. Cater.
All right, hello. So the main thing right now is my air condition. My air condition isn't working because I don't have an air condition unit. So that's why the issue started from the beginning, because of the repairs. And I understand the other repairs, I guess, aren't going to be done. I'm not sure, because after they came over and took pictures in March, and I haven't heard anything, and they closed out my things. So I just really need hot water and some AC, because my AC is registering at 81 right now, and I have a child with asthma. So I really need
Ms.
that.
Cater, Ms. Cater. Couple things so that we're clear. I am not, certainly those issues could be dealt with, maybe. But I issued a judgment on this back in March. I initially denied your motion to set it aside.
Correct.
Right, because it wasn't, the judgment wasn't going to be paid, and there had been additional rent accruing.
Okay.
The only reason that I even set a hearing on this was because when you came with the second motion, there was then a substantial additional amount paid.
Okay.
that was gonna get you close to getting yourself caught up.
Mm-hmm.
All right? My only question in whether I let this judgment continue or set it aside are no longer, from this court standpoint, the repair issues.
Okay.
It becomes an issue of getting this paid,
Okay. So
okay?
it can be paid by the 30th.
That whole amount.
I can have 3,000 paid for sure by the 30th, and then the other.
Say what? Say
I'm
it
sorry.
again.
I can have 3,000 paid by the 30th. And then I can have the remaining paid by the 6th of June.
What about the June
But
rent?
what about your
can-
June rent?
I can add that with the June. I was just gonna say I can add June's rent with that.
Ms. Cater, I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't want to do that.
Okay.
I know in the past, you always come up with it, and I get that. But at some point, there's got to be fairness to the landlord in this case.
Okay.
And, they've got to reconcile everything and get everything paid. And here's what my problem is with what you're telling me. Is that on this, you're asking me to allow this case to move into June.
Okay. Well.
And I'm not, I don't want to do that.
Okay. Well, I can
So
have
if you're gonna, hang on,
Yes, sir.
this 34/60/50,
Yes, sir.
that needs, I gotta have that paid in May.
Okay. I can do that May 30th.
Because the only reason I set the hearing, so that you know, the only reason I set the hearing is you had brought in a substantial amount. And quite frankly, I thought when we get here today, she's gonna have that additional amount. But you don't have it. But I'm not gonna keep extending this out. I issued this judgment back in March.
Okay. So I can have it
You hear
paid by
me?
May 30th.
Here's what I'm gonna do then. And this is also, I'm sure, gonna be over plaintiff's objection, but it's what I'm gonna do. What's the time on the 30th?
On the 30th, that's 2 weeks, it'd be 2 p.m.
I'm gonna adjourn this to May 30th, 2025 at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. I'm gonna release the 34/63 escrow to plaintiff today. So can we send a message down there, try to get that out to them? And then you're going to pay $3,460.50. I want that paid directly to the landlord. And Ms. Cater, are
Yes.
you going to be able to get that paid prior to 2 p.m.? I really need it paid prior to
It will
noon
be.
on that day.
It will be.
It will be?
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna put by noon on the 30th. All right, now, just so that I'm also clear, Ms. Cater, and I'll listen to you, I'll hear anything you gotta say. But if that's not paid, I'm not, I'm done. I can't do much else.
So I have a question. What am I supposed to do regarding my repairs? How am I gonna get
All
those?
right, submit the repairs
I've done
to
that.
them.
I've done that.
All right.
I've been doing that
Here's
since I
what-
moved in, Your Honor.
Okay. And you say it's
Pass the
air
repairs along
conditioning?
to my client as well. I've noted that there's no AC unit. My understanding, this is a brand new home.
It
Your
is.
Honor. And so air conditioning units were put on order. My understanding is that there are many that are scheduled to be installed on the 22nd. I don't know if Ms. Caters is on that list. It's very possible hers is. I don't know for certain. I'd have to verify with my client. So I suspect the AC unit is coming up within the next week. As far as what was specifically on this work order, Ms. Cater says was closed out, I'll check with my client, let them know that she's stating that those issues are still outstanding. One specific thing Ms. Cater referenced today was something about hot water. I'll make sure to address that with my client today.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right. So hopefully we can get those issues resolved as well as get the monetary issue and let you try to get a fresh start come June, Ms. Cater, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, okay, we'll see you on the 30th. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, just two, or a small one sometimes. Arbor Woods versus April Tubbs Streeter. April Tubbs Streeter. Not present. You've previously been sworn. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. And just to refresh the court's memory on this, my understanding, I wasn't the attorney here at the last court date, but I believe Your Honor had ordered Ms. Tubbs Streeter to have the remaining balance due through April paid by April 30th. This was at the hearing on April 28th. That balance at that time, I believe, was $510.40. Ms. Cater did pay $550, but not until May 6th. So in light of that, we are seeking entry of a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days. Rent to retain is $599.26. Court costs are $242 for a total due of $841.26.
Judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default for possession. Redemption amount is in the amount requested. Writ to issue in 10 days. Scio Farms versus Joseph Wallace. Joseph Wallace and Joy Stratton. Wallace or Stratton? No response. And this is the plaintiff's motion to demolish the mobile home on site.
That is correct, Your Honor. So I do want to let the court know, Ms. Joy Stratton did reach out to our office. She indicated that she no longer lives in the home. She apparently lives in Alabama. Yep, in Alabama since 2021. Her understanding was that Joseph Wallace had sold the home to his daughter, Alyssa Wallace, and her boyfriend. She was unaware that Alyssa had vacated the home. It was not in communication with the family. I believe they were divorced. Yes, in 2019. And so when we were made aware of this, Your Honor, we did do skip tracing with respect to Alyssa Wallace, served her with a copy of the motion that's before the court today. And I believe a copy of that proof of service, which would have gone out in early May, was filed with the court. In light of anybody's failure to appear here today to object to the motion, and in light of the rental balance that is due to Scio Farms, $13,880.44 at present, we would be requesting an order allowing Scio Farms to demolish the manufactured home on site.
Hearing no objection, the motion to demolish the home on site is granted, and I've signed the order.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Scio Farms versus Melanie Clemens. She's in town. Ms. Clemens?
Hello?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
hello, there she is. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
And where are we on her case?
Total with costs, Your Honor, $1,816.78. Your Honor, Ms. Clemens did reach out to my office to propose a payment plan, which unfortunately my client was not in agreement with, as it pushed the case into June, pushed payment into June, but did not include a provision for June. Even if it had, I don't know that my client would have agreed to those terms, but unfortunately what was proposed at the time just unfortunately wasn't something my client could agree to.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but that was the wrong information. The person I talked to, they didn't have no information of my account. So she kept asking me questions. Could you do this? I kept telling her I can have it all paid by the 30th. Could you do this? And that is including June. And she just kept asking about June. So I just said, okay. But what I was trying to ask her is I could pay $1,300 on the 23rd and the remaining balance on the 30th. That's what I was trying to say to her. So I think we had some miscommunication.
Okay. So you can have, so right now, and you paid that 1,600 on the 5th or thereabouts that you said you were going to pay because your balance went down.
Yes.
And so you can have this all paid by the 30th?
Yes.
All right, here's what I'm going to do then. I'm going to find no tribal issue after a hearing in this matter. I'm going to grant a judgment for possession to the plaintiff in the amount, it was 1816.78?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. And normally, so that you understand what I'm going to do here, Ms. Clemens, normally you would have until the 27th to get it paid. I'm going to extend the writ date on this to May 30th.
Okay.
Let you get that paid. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So you'll get it paid and then you'll be all set.
All righty.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Clemens, you have a great weekend.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Court calls the case of Sile Farms versus Lawana Tut. Jesus, yep.
I'm here.
Okay. Something's wrong with their camera, but, oh, no, there she is. Okay. Hello, Miss Tut. Okay, where are we on this case?
With costs, Your Honor, $5,931.20.
Okay. So you were to pay, last time we were here was May 2nd, you were gonna pay $1,500 by the 9th. Did that get paid?
I had sent them, I was in the hospital and I had someone deliver a personal check. They wouldn't take that. So I did, have someone drop off today a certified check for $2,000. And then, the last time I had submitted a request to my employer for assistance with the remaining balance. That has been approved. I am just waiting to receive the funds, which I expect to have by next week.
Okay, so I think Sile Farms is here. There
Yes.
she is.
Patty, do you have that $2,000 payment? Yeah, okay. Looks like we
Okay,
got
so
it.
we have
Your
the
Honor.
2,000. And then you had mentioned before about your employee assistance program, and that's gonna pay the balance?
Yes.
Okay, so when are they expecting?
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
They didn't give me a date. They just told me that my request was approved. They would pay the remaining balance, and I'm just waiting to receive the check from them. And I believe that they have sent it. But I haven't received it yet. So I'm guessing it will come within the next few days.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do kind of the same thing I just did with Ms. Clemens for you, okay? I'm going to find no tribal issue after after a hearing in this matter. I'm gonna grant a judgment for possession in
Your Honor.
the amount.
Do you
Yes,
have to grant a judgment? Because I am going to be moving soon and I would, don't want a
I
judgment on my
see.
record that will maybe prevent me
when
from
are you gonna be
getting
moving?
other housing. I have to relocate No, to North Carolina. I'm sorry, I'm not doing well health-wise.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's do this. I'm not gonna. I won't grant the judgment. I'm gonna trust you. You paid the two. I know you've been in the hospital. You told us about your employee program. I'm gonna trust you. I'm just going to adjourn this case out to the 30th. Okay. And if your employer gets it paid, then it's likely this will be dismissed then. Okay, I'll do that for you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and I'm doing that over the objection of plaintiff, of course, but that's at 2 p.m. on the 30th. Okay, Ms. Todd?
Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. Court does call the case of Valley Ranch versus Markeisha Baines. She's in Zoom.
Hi.
Oh.
Can you see me?
Hello, Ms. Baines.
Yes. Hello.
Okay, where are we? I'm going okay. You?
Say it again.
I said, are you doing okay?
Well, I guess. Well, you know what? I can't complain. You know, it could be worse.
Okay.
But I am still in a conundrum still. I'm one student that it's here that usually comes here. So I have not received any updates on the actual date that my funding will be released for my last installment for my lease here before I am relocated somewhere else. The last installment is supposed to take care of, like I said before, April, May, June. And so I'm still waiting for that to come through. And all I've been told is it's in process. So I don't know what to say or what to do. My secondary plan was to wait for my income taxes. I'm still waiting on that to come in. So either way, one of those will get here for me to pay for this last 3 months that I'm here in this lease. And so that's my only two plans right now. I don't have any updates other than what has been told to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and Ms. Dornbush, how much is owing at this point? Is it 32?
$3,464.10.
Okay, so Spain's I kind of run out of time here on this waiting, and I get it. A lot of this is out of everybody's control.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna grant a judgment for possession.
Okay.
And finding no tribal issue after hearing for that 346410. I will make the writ date. I'll extend it out to the end of the month to May 30th. So hopefully your taxes will get here or that check will get here before the end of the month.
Okay, you said 5:30. Okay, 5:30.
Yes.
And okay.
All right.
All right. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Court calls the case of Whitaker Oaks versus Kathleen Short.
Hi,
And
I'm
also
here.
Brian Pollard. Okay. She's here. How much do we have owing?
Your Honor, excuse me, the ledger balance is $4,241.61. Your Honor, Ms. Short was ordered to pay $800 to Whitaker Oaks. She did do that, Your Honor. My client hasn't applied it yet because there is an ancillary issue I wanted to bring to the attention of the court. Your Honor, Ms. Pollard's lease agreement with the property has expired. A notice to quit actually was previously issued and did expire on May 10th. And so my client is intending to pursue termination of the tenancy to recover possession of the unit. I know that issue obviously is not before the court today. This action is for non-payment of rent. My hope was, if it please the court, to speak with Ms. Short in a breakout room and to see if we can reach an agreement with respect to both actions in light of the situation.
All right. Ms. Short, do you want to do that? Did you understand what counsel was indicating?
I have no idea what that means, but I will do whatever.
Okay, here's the thing. you're here on a non-payment of rent case.
Yeah.
Your lease has expired. They're gonna seek to terminate your tenancy or to have you moved from the premises. Okay? That
Even if
case
I
has
can
not,
pay
hold
it
on,
forward.
hold on, hold on. All right. In short,
It's fine. I'm listening. Just keep going.
all right. That case is not before me today. But I don't know, has it been filed already, counsel, or no?
It probably is with our office to file. I don't know that anything has been submitted to the court yet. I would say, Your Honor, that to the extent a judgment entered today for non-payment, we would only be seeking a judgment through the April 30th charges, because my client would intend to proceed with that filing and would not want to accept payment that would jeopardize that case. And so that's why I was proposing perhaps a conversation with Ms. Short to see if we couldn't reach an agreement that would negate the need to file the other case, as well as to potentially negotiate a move-out date.
All right. Ms. Short, let me just say this. You don't have to speak with the attorney if you don't want to regarding that case. It's not before me right now. Okay? I just wanted to make sure that you understood what she was indicating to the court.
I mean, I do
Okay.
understand, but I understand. Yeah.
Okay, in short, here's what I'm gonna do, okay? That case is likely gonna be filed. I'm gonna put this out a week, let you kind of wrap your head around all of that, okay? About what's been said today. And we'll come back, and then if you wanna either get an attorney or somebody to help you out with this, or to then talk with Ms. Dornbush on that date next week, then we could make that happen, okay?
Okay.
Because I realize this was something new you just heard, and I don't want, right, so that's the way I'm gonna do it. I realize plaintiff may have an objection and wants their judgment, but I don't think plaintiff will be prejudiced if I just put it out a week for her to try to deal with it.
And Your Honor, just as the court has indicated, I do have to place my objection on the record, but I would also invite Ms. Short to give me a call once she's had to kind of process what's occurred here today. And we can potentially have a discussion, separately outside of court to see if an agreement can be reached. That's if, of course, Ms. Short does not choose to retain counsel. If she does decide to obtain an attorney, then her attorney can certainly reach out to me as well.
Okay, you hear that, Ms. Short? And I should have said that.
Yeah.
So you don't have.
Can I have her phone number to reach out? Like, do I have to, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Do you
I
have,
don't know.
hold on, do you have the paperwork or no?
I have a ton of paperwork. I don't know.
Okay, hold on. Can we put Ms. Dornbush's phone number? Okay. Ms. Short, can you see the chat on your phone there? We're gonna put Ms. Dornbush's phone number in there for you. Okay?
Okay, I do see a chat. It just doesn't say anything, but yeah.
Okay. You gotta do it. You said it? Okay. Oh, you have to look it up. You got it?
I got it, Judge.
Do you see it? Do you see it, Miss Short?
Yeah, I'm typing it. I got it.
Okay, all right. So you don't have to wait to come back next week to talk to Ms. Dornbush. If you wanna, at some point, wanna try to do something in the interim, that you're more than welcome to do that too, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, so that'd be the 23rd at 1 p.m.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. And Sile Farms versus Nicholas Lasowski. That case is dismissed on plaintiff's motion without prejudice. Right.
Your Honor, there was one other case.
Was there?
No, well, you probably don't have the file in front of you. And I did email Miss Weidling, and I didn't know if there was anything that could be done on this, but there was a case, we submitted a dismissal on the 14th. And I know oftentimes, it depends on the time when it's submitted to the court, whether or not the court processes it or holds it over to go on the record with Your Honor. We did submit a dismissal on the 14th, and unfortunately, the payment that was made that brought tenants to a zero balance justifying that dismissal was returned today for insufficient funds. So
Okay.
if possible, my hope
So
was
if it
to,
had come in, so that if it had come into the court, I wouldn't have dismissed it because you would have been able to represent that to me. So
Correct.
what's that case number? You have it?
254C0489.
that's the one.
And that was, is it
The dismissal was.
Is it Scio Farms?
Yes, it is Scio Farms, yeah, versus Steenberg. It was signed and processed by the clerk's office.
Okay, so let's get that back. What I'll do is I'll get that back. I'll administratively set aside the dismissal and I'll set it for the 23rd.
Very good, Your Honor. Much appreciated. Thank
Okay, at 1. I figured it had to be Scio Farms because she popped back on my screen. No, it's okay. All right, we'll take care of it here.
Thank you, Judge. Much appreciated. Have a great weekend.
All right, you both have a great weekend also. Thank you.
Can we have just 2 minutes?
Sure, I have nothing else. No, yes, no. Wow, apparently that was going well. Did you want me to pass it?
Could we please pass this?
May I approach it for just a second?
Yes, you may. Here on Vista Apartments versus Deanna Rogers. Oh, there she is. Hello.
James Hickey with plaintiff.
All right.
Hi.
All right. And where are we on this case?
The current balance inclusive of all costs is $6,732. Did you talk to them about a payment plan?
No, I was talking about getting 30 days to move.
Okay. So you're gonna move.
Yeah.
All right, here's what I'll do. This was not a request for money, General. You're saying you need 30 days to move? Or?
Yes.
It would be 1 more month, Your Honor.
How much is your monthly rent?
$1,837.
Finding no tribal issue. Granted judgment, I'll grant it for possession. The amount of $6,732. Was that correct? I can't quite get you to 30 days, ma'am. What I'll do is a writ won't issue until June 6th. Okay, so I got you about 3 weeks. Okay.
Is that over my objection, sir?
That's over, yes, that's over plaintiff's objection.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
You're on Vista versus Shanice Morris.
Mayor, Ms. Morris gave me an exhibit list.
How you doing, Your Honor?
She says she also.
I also have one for you as well if you need one.
I may have it by email, but I don't have it yet. I've got the exhibit list. She handed it to me today, but I don't have a copy of the answer yet, so I don't. I've got her balance as 1489 plus costs for 1665. It might help to know what she believes she owes.
All right. And so I have, you filed the witness list, is that correct, ma'am? So I have a copy.
Okay.
And these. So. Oh, here's Docker. So you're saying that there were payments for the washer and dryer that were made
That they were saying that they
that-
did not receive.
got it.
And they were also charging me pet fees that I were unaware of because when I moved in, I was told that my emotional support animal letter was accepted. So which means that $300 deposit was waived and the monthly fee was waived, to my knowledge, before I even signed the lease or moved in. And I also had it updated in May of 24 before I moved in June, on June 4th.
Had what updated?
My my ETA letter for my emotional support animal.
Right, okay. All right, so here's what I'll do, now that we have that, and just, they're gonna have to go through that ledger, take a look at it, and do whatever with it. And
My voucher.
figure out the, pardon?
My voucher amount changed also because my family member size changed. And they said at first, they assured me that they were gonna just transfer me to a 1-bedroom. And now they're not going to transfer me to a 1-bedroom. So I've been looking for somewhere to stay because they've just told me this recently. And I'm having a hard time doing that. Is it possible I can get an adjournment with this? Because we were working on getting the balance paid, me and SOS, but we were waiting on them also to give me an updated, accurate ledger.
Anything else you want to?
No, sir.
All right. Here's what I was gonna do, because they've got to go through and try to sort this out. You got those issues also going on. So I was gonna set this for our final settlement conference on a Tuesday.
Means we're gonna come back, and if we don't have it worked out, you can talk to him about it, and then he's gonna help us work it out.
So do I have to be?
So how much is your monthly rent?
It's changed to 157.
Okay, so her paying her monthly rent hasn't really been an issue. It's
No.
these back charges.
For the pet and the washer and dryer. Yes.
Got it. All right.
Well, Your Honor, not quite. When she moved in, she paid 1588. That was in July.
That was June. I moved in June 4th of 24.
See that? Says
I
July
have the lease here,
6th,
too.
but it doesn't matter. She paid it.
Okay.
Since then, she paid $35 in October, November, December. And she paid rent of $288. Oh, and also January, she paid 35, then rent of $288 in February, 35 in March, 35 in April, and she paid 35 in May. That's it. So there's also rent that's not
Rent.
paid.
Can I speak, Your Honor?
And
I
I'm
also
giving her a copy.
had loss of employment as well, so I know there's a balance from March, April, and May. And like I said, I've been working with SOS to get that paid, but we were trying to wait for them to give us an updated ledger with all the fees come off.
So your rent currently now is 157.
Yes, but it's changed 2 to 3 times.
Yeah.
My portion with Ann Arbor Housing Commission, yes.
157 is correct.
All right.
So final settlement conference when?
I was gonna do June 10th, excuse me.
June 10th?
Yeah, 2025, 9 a.m. That's in person, and you're to pay your rent timely, okay?
Okay.
And then,
Okay, do we have it?
then we're just dealing with the balance that we have now.
Yes, because I do have employment now.
Okay, all right. So get that paid, and then we'll
Okay,
see you
June
June 10th.
Okay, June's rent, June 10th, and they said I had to be out by the 26th of this month, and then they said the 31st. Which day is accurate?
What do you mean?
They said I had to vacate the unit by the 26th or the 31st of this month.
We may
Is
have
that
sent her
accurate?
A termination notice.
Did they,
I can look if you'd like, but I haven't logged in yet
did you,
remotely.
did they send you a termination notice to, that you had to leave?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
well,
believe that's what I was saying.
I think I might have done that,
okay,
but
okay, you don't have, don't
do
worry.
you have it with you?
I believe it could be out in my other paperwork in the car or at the house.
Okay, hey, don't worry about it right now, because if they want you out, then they're gonna have to file a case in it.
May we amend if we did and just deal with it at the settlement conference?
Yeah, we
Thank
can,
you.
we can try to figure all that out there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And will I get information about this conference?
Pardon?
Will I be included on that conference? Will I get?
On what
information?
conference? Settlement conference? On June tenth?
You said it's in
You
person?
better be here.
You said it's in person, right?
It's in person.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you so
better
much.
be here. That's your court hearing.
Thank you.
What do you mean, will I be included? Go, have a good weekend.
You too, thank you.
Court calls the case here on Vista versus Benita Allen.
James Sink for the plaintiff. I've got a note that she's sick.
Yes, she's sick, but I think she signed in. Miss Allen?
Yes, I'm here.
Well, actually, Miss Holman.
Yes,
It's all right.
that's okay.
Yeah, the balance is 5942. 5,942.
All right, ma'am, how are you intending on trying to get this paid?
I am
Balance has
making,
gone up.
yes, I know. I am making $1,000 payment today and another one next week. And then the following week, I should be able to pay the remaining balance as well as the next month's rent.
So when are you making the $1,000?
Today.
Today. And then when would the next 1,000?
Next week. So a week from today.
A week from today. So the 23rd. And then when are you gonna pay the balance, you say?
The following week, I should be able to pay the remaining balance as well as the
So
following
by,
month's rent.
so you'd be able to pay it by the 30th?
Yes.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find, after hearing no tribal issue, I'm gonna grant them a judgment for possession of the 5942. All right, and instead of having to pay that by the 27th, I'm gonna indicate that a writ will issue the 30th, so that gives you to the end of the month to get it paid off.
Okay.
Okay?
So we're leaving the redemption date the 27th, but no writ before the 30th, or just changing the redemption?
Just changing it to the
Thank you.
30th. Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're on Vista versus Anika Smith. Anika Smith. No response. If you'd like to take a default, raise your right hand. I don't. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, go.
Your Honor, this is an action for non-payment of rent. This defendant is in arrears $2,464 in rent. The costs are $176 for a total of $2,640.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession. Redemption amount is in the amount requested with the retention of 10 days.
Thank you.
Court does call the case of Evergreen Apartments versus Nancy Matthews and is it Nubia Robinson? Mr. Robinson's here. Okay. Hello,
Well,
what's your name?
Nubia Robinson.
All right. And where do we have her balance?
$4,469.07.
Ma'am, how are you intending on getting that paid?
Well, I had a roommate, Nancy Matthews. She passed away. So
Sorry.
I was having issues covering the rent for the last 3 months,
Okay,
but I had everything handled since October.
got it. So are you gonna be able to find a way to get this paid and then be able to continue on, or?
Well, Hawk was supposed to help me, but I'm waiting on that process.
I've got a note that she's got to get to 3,000
Yeah,
in order to be eligible for Hawks.
you gotta get it down to 15. You gotta get about 1,500 to get yourself down to 3 to be eligible for Hawk.
See, they didn't explain it like that. They just said they were gonna pay it and then I cover the rest.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying, but that
Yeah, they
it
won't.
works
Yeah,
the opposite. of
It's the
that.
opposite.
Yeah. So,
Well, right now, I don't know, because I'm in the process of finding somewhere else to go because I can't afford it.
gotcha. Okay. Um,
When do you think you can move?
I'm trying to move as soon as possible, but the
Yeah.
process of
I
finding
need like a
somewhere,
day though.
a day. June 1st.
you think you can be out by June 1st? That would,
Sorry, he dropped something.
okay.
Maybe by the 7th at the latest.
Here's what I'll do. I grant judgment for possession for that total amount of the 4469.27. Finding no tribal issue after a hearing. I'll do what I did on the last one and now over the objection to plaintiff, I'll make your writ date June 6th. So you have to do 6. Okay,
Your
Thank
Honor,
you.
I've marked this as a default against Nancy Matthews.
yes. And the default is,
How's it a default if she's
Oh,
no longer with?
well, that's right. Yeah.
she's right. We don't have any. I guess we just
No
have her
one
sworn
asked me.
and say it and we can just,
All right. Will you raise your right hand?
we don't have a certificate yet. is the only
Yes,
reason I'm
that's-
saying that.
You solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right. Your roommate, Nancy Matthews, you indicated to the court that she had passed away.
Yes.
All right. And that's true?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
I can send him a copy of the death certificate.
If you move, it won't matter, but if you're gonna stay, if you're gonna pay instead, then we'll get her off the lease.
Yeah.
Okay.
Connor, I'm putting that under line 10 and Matthews is deceased and dismissed.
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm sorry.
Still grieving, but I'm getting better.
Take care of yourself.
You too.
All right.
I have to stop for one thing.
Evergreen Apartments versus Jamesia Wilkie.
James Sink for the plaintiff.
I'll check in if you'd like to proceed, you may.
This is an action for non-payment of rent. This defendant owes $2,612.37 in rent. The costs are $172 for a total of $2,784.37.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that's by default for possession. Redemption amount is in the amount requested with the writ issue of 10 days. Evergreen versus Samantha Packer.
James Sink for the plaintiff.
Samantha Packer. Not checked in, you may proceed.
Ms. Packer owes $3,791.26 in rent. The costs are $172 for a total of $3,963.26.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession. Redemption amount is in the amount requested. Writ issue 10 days. Evergreen versus Charlotte. Is it Cambria?
Hi.
Hello, do you have a camera?
Sorry, I'm trying to get it to work.
All right.
Um,
Right. While you work on that, how much is owing?
A total of $2,825.64.
All right. And ma'am, how do you intend on getting that paid? Did I lose her? Ms. Cambria? Not responding. Hmm. Ms. Cambria, you there? You try to send her a message. Let me pass this matter.
You might want to look at the register of actions on this one.
Is she? No, she's gone.
Maybe she's having that.
Okay.
I'm letting her back.
Okay. All right, Miss Cambria, you there?
yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, okay, it's okay. It's okay. We were talking and I thought maybe you, all of a sudden you were gone. There, okay. I don't know what you heard, but did they say you owe $2,825.64?
Yes.
And my question is how did you intend on getting that paid?
So I was unemployed for about 2 to 3 weeks, and that set me back. But now I have a restaurant job, and I plan on getting a second job, and hopefully some time to make up for the rent lost.
Okay. And without going into detail, you've been dealing with some other things too, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
all right, let's see if we can.
Did she have an application pending?
With Hawk? I mean,
Yes.
Have you reached out to Hawk, ma'am?
Yes, I've reached out to them. They gave me some resources.
Okay. They gave you resources. Did they say they would be able to assist you, or did they give you?
So they gave me like food pantry and legal advice, but they said that I might make more than they accept for help from them. Did that?
So Your Honor, I don't know anything. This gets inside.
When did you reach out to them, Mr. Maria?
Like last week.
Is Miss Amy here?
She is in Zoom. Amy? Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone.
All right. Is our funding still in the same spot it was, or where are we?
In short, yes, but nothing has changed since our meeting last week. Was it?
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Okay, that may be partially why that advice was coming. Okay, Ms. Jabria, let me ask you this. How much is your monthly rent?
$1,019.
All right. Okay, if I put this over a week, how much do you think you'd be able to get in?
1 week. So
Yeah.
I'm still technically training for my job, so I'm not making tips or anything like that. I make like $12 an hour. I just would need like, I don't know how.
All right, all right, hold on. All right. So when do you think that you're gonna really have your first paycheck?
I first get paid on Tuesday, but I was intending to use that money for my car loan. Just in case I do get evicted and I have to sleep in my car. Yeah, but I'm looking for a second job and to work with tips where I get cash tips.
Oh,
So
all
I
right.
don't really know. I can't visibly see how things will turn out, but I'm hoping for more time.
I know. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Okay. And Mr. Fink, I don't know what communication you received on her case, but I'm gonna.
I've got, I have enough notes to, you don't need to tell me.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Beer, here's what I'm gonna do. So you just started this restaurant job when?
Last week,
Okay, so you'll be training for how long?
I
Before
have
you have it perfect?
like 5 more training days. They
Hit
have
5
a-
more? Okay, let's do this. All right. And the balance might go up at some point, but I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna do what I can to try to work through you with this, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to adjourn this to the 30th. 2025 at 3 p.m. And whatever you can put toward your rent, I want you to do that. I'm not gonna put a figure down. Okay? And then from there, you'll probably be past your training and then we can try to look where we're gonna go from there, all right?
Okay. Yes.
Fair enough?
Yes.
You
Do I
wanna
come
just-
back on Zoom?
Yes, you can come back on Zoom or you can come in person, either way,
Okay.
okay?
Yes,
Your Honor,
thank you so much.
just so that we're all on the same page, so the balance, not when we come back, but on June 1st will be around 4,000.
Correct.
Probably a little extra.
I get it. Okay, all right. Clear. All right, thank you. We'll see you then.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Glencoe Hills versus Tillman McCommons.
Your Honor, Mr. McCommon's balance is $3,888.15.
Sir, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I'm working with Hawk now. She wants documents and I'm sending my profit and loss statement to her. And I'm a licensed barber. My business slowed down, but it's picking back up.
Don't blame me for that.
Yeah, you need it.
You can blame me.
My business is picking up. So I've had some help from DHS too. They've gave me some food assistance to help me out. And Hawk said they could pay the 3,000 if I qualified, and I have to pay the remainder, like 700.
Oh, well, yeah, well, it's 888 now.
Okay.
But you gotta pay that before Hawk can help.
Right.
So when do you think you can get that paid? 26.
The 800,
About $900.
900. Okay. I'm gonna pay 1,000 to my rent, because I got something going on with my my leasing office. Susan Wall over at Glencoe.
Okay,
Says he made an agreement to pay 1,000 on Monday.
Monday.
So you're gonna pay 1,000 this Monday,
Yes.
which is the 19th. All right. So if you pay 1,000 on this Monday, then that's gonna be under 3,000. I don't know what Hawk's gonna do or what they're gonna say. So I'm gonna put this over 1 week.
Okay,
Okay, and then let's figure out exactly where we are and where we go. May 23rd, 2025 at 2 p.m.
May 23rd.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
So they'll send that to my house. too.
You just go into the, no, they're not gonna send you anything.
Okay.
Are they, will he get something in the mail?
They will send it out, but whether
I
they
get it in time.
I don't know.
Okay. So
Next
that's-
Friday, 3 p.m. Let me write it on your hand like a cop does.
Could you write it on there?
Maybe I'll put down 5, you won't show and I can get it.
You can, the other thing you can do is you can go down to our front counter, give them your name, they'll come down and get the file and then they'll print you a notice.
Okay.
Okay?
23rd. Okay.
23, 3 p.m.
Okay. Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. Court calls the case Glencoe Oaks versus Raymond Sendek.
James, thank you for the plan.
Gonna write his appointment number.
Okay.
Yeah, the total is $3,759.24.
Sir, how are we gonna get that paid?
With work and everything, I told you last time my wife's bank account got froze, it still never got unfroze. So with me being able to get it down as much as it is, that was with me working major overtime and I'm still gonna do that. If you could give me like, adjourn it out for like 2 more weeks, I should be able to get all that out.
Did we get all this paid?
Hopefully, as long as no other bill comes up. If not, I would have it close enough to where if you said, did a judgment, I would, before that 10-day judgment, I would be able to have it paid off for sure.
All right, I see.
I've been working like 11 hours a day, 6 days a week to get this all taken.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think you can get it paid before the 30th?
Before the 30th, yes.
You can. Okay, so what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna find that there's not a tribal issue in this case. I'm gonna grant a judgment for possession. Okay, but I won't make it 10 days. I'll give you till the end of the month to get it paid.
All right.
Fair enough?
Yep, that works for me. I'll definitely.
So I'll grant a judgment for possession. That amount of 3/24 and no writ. The writ date is the 30th. All right. They still haven't unfroze that?
No, and she's had 2 paychecks because her HR didn't go into that account too. So yeah, that was just another kick down of, let's figure this out, right?
Yeah, okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Gulf Side Lakes versus Patrice Haywood. Go ahead. Were you ready on yours?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Let me get this one and then I'll. Hello, Ms. Haywood.
Hi there.
How are you doing?
Okay.
Okay, where's she at this point?
It was 1273.02.
1273. How are we gonna get that?
Fine. Well, I'm waiting on my full payroll check. I received a partial one and I deposited that. I'm paid net 30, so if they're late, it puts me in the financial hardship.
Gotcha.
Hopefully, it'll be here any day, hopefully.
When you say any day, when do you think you're gonna?
Well, they're extremely slow, so I mean, at least 10 days, possibly, if that's available to me. If not, whatever you say.
All right.
She did pay almost 3,000 on the 7th.
On the 7th?
Yes, sir.
then I'm gonna give you a shot. I'm not gonna give her a judgment at this point. You think you think in 10 days it's gonna,
The most you can give me would be fantastic.
yeah, well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna adjourn it out to the 30th. I'm not gonna do a judgment at this point. Is it, what's that? At 3 p.m. Okay, Miss Hayward? They just start talking, don't even pay attention to me. I'm just sitting up here, ain't nobody listening to me.
I am
We're
listening.
good.
No, you were,
we-
no, Mr. Fink had like, got all your attention and just said, don't pay attention to the judge. Here, I'm gonna tell you what to do. That's what was going on. And I'm hurt.
I didn't think I had all our attention.
All right, Ms. Haywood, I'm gonna adjourn your case out to the 30th at 3 p.m.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we're gonna get there. It's been,
I know.
all right.
We're friends now.
Yes, exactly. All right, Ms. Haywood. I recall the case of Huron Vista versus Williams.
James Fink for the plaintiff.
Emily Bill for defendant.
All right, where are we?
So AAHC has brought her rent portion down to 0 effective March 1st, and it looks like we're just still waiting for that to hit there. So that will take the balance down to under the SER limit. And so as soon as we can get an SER, like an accurate ledger from them showing that, then Ms. Williams will be able to use SER to cover court costs.
It looks like there'll be a reduction of $685 once we can do an inspection of the unit. I assume it has to pass also. Is it inspection?
No, it did pass. So they've been paying, they just had her at too high a rent because they had to wait for her to file taxes in order to adjust her self-employment income.
I'm just looking at my note.
Okay.
But maybe an inspection? Noted.
That's what it says.
Okay,
So then we take it down to.
isn't that pretty? This is very quiet. I'm so sorry.
Am I looking at the wrong one?
We're on Williams, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's 1,057. And what do you say is gonna
Yeah,
happen?
so 564 in rent payments is gonna come from Ann Arbor Housing.
When?
I don't know. I mean, they've already restarted her down to 0. So as soon as they can process that payment, I would expect to see this within 2 weeks. I'm not sure the timeline.
What's the
We
balance?
know what's gonna happen when you do a COD, right?
Right?
Because you just your personal guarantee.
Well, yes, I can guarantee that's gonna happen. The other issues is I do believe that she paid $70 around February 22nd. Check and see if something might have been missed. Because she definitely had like some money that she paid when she moved in addition to the jetty deposit.
Did you say that? February
It
what?
was when she moved in, which I believe was the 21st or 22nd, she paid approximately $70. I don't have that screenshot with me now, but I can get it to
It
you.
might be that's what this credit is. How about if we adjourn it 2 weeks? We'll hopefully.
Sounds good.
It. Otherwise, maybe we can do a COD to submit to the court before we all have to come back.
Sounds like a plan.
May 30th, 2025, 3 p.m. I was gonna do it. Gulfside Lakes versus Lanisha Williams. Lanisha Williams. And
James Fink for the plaintiff. This defendant owes $4,646.32 in rent, costs of $172 for a total of $48,1832 possession only.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession. Redemption amount is in the amount requested with the writ to issue in 10 days.
Thank you.
Gulfside Lakes versus Betty Nickel. Hello. Your name?
Betty Nichols.
All right. And
Hi, Mr. Fink. How are you?
How are you?
Nervous?
nervous?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I just hate speaking in front of people in public.
Me
Public
too.
speaking.
Well, this will be good practice.
Yes, it will be.
Her total's 48, 46, 31.
All right.
Just need till Wednesday. So I did receive my check. It is in the mail. I mean, it isn't, just waiting on the bank to release it. They told me today they can give me 1,000. So if that will suffice, I can make $1,000 payment today. And then Wednesday, the balance.
You're gonna have the balance. You'll have everything.
Yes.
All right. So here's what I'll do. Let me adjourn it out 1 week to the 23rd,
Okay.
2025 at 2 p.m. And you'll get it paid. And if you haven't paid before then, they'll likely dismiss, and then you don't have to come back here and talk in front of anybody.
Then I won't see you.
I know.
And
That's what I'm
you.
talking about.
And you.
You see this? This is what you paid. March.
Mhm.
This is what you destroyed. So consider this a lecture from your father. Okay.
Then I'm back to work. Somebody didn't pay me. Okay.
All
You
right.
got me together. We'll be on time every month.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Take
Pat.
care. Gulfside Lakes versus Bonnie Jacks and Brandon Jacks.
Here, Your Honor.
Brandon, okay, there he is. All right, how much is owing on this?
4162.71.
4162.70. Sir, how are you intending on getting this paid?
Within the next 2 weeks, I have 2 contract payments coming that will cover the full balance. So if I could possibly get to the 30th to pay the full balance, I'd be able to take care of everything.
Then what I'll do is I'll issue a judgment for possession, finding no tribal issue. I'll do it, it's 4162. What was the cents on that?
4162.71, Your Honor.
71 cents. I'll issue a judgment in that amount. And I will extend the writ date out to the 30th.
Thank you very much, Hoff.
To what date, Your Honor? 27th?
30th.
30th?
Where'd Alan go? Oh, he's now. I feel unprotected. Court calls the case of the people, Gulfside Lakes versus Dewan Winter Mate.
James Singh for the plaintiff. This balance is $1,752.86.
Sir, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I have a meeting with Housing Access on Monday, and a meeting with another person, Ozone House. They say they're gonna help me pay the balance. I have a meeting with them at 10:30 on Monday.
On Monday?
Yes.
So you have 2 meetings on Monday?
Yes.
Give me a chance to have those meetings. Here we are, May 23rd, 2025, 2 p.m.
Hey, give me that last one back. I think I gave you the wrong judgment.
Did he?
Betty Nichols.
Good. All right, we'll see you in a week.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I didn't look closely at the name. Gulfside Lakes versus Deon Brown.
James Singh for the plaintiff. Your Honor, what was the adjourned date for Mr. Wintermate?
23rd.
Thank you. Mr. Brown's balance is 198.47.
198.47.
How you doing?
Good, Mr. Brown.
I'll be able to make half of the payment next week on Wednesday, and then the following Wednesday I can pay off the balance.
So you can pay, what, about 100? On Wednesday, the 21st. All right. Balance paid by the 20.
Yes.
Is that what you're telling me? Okay. Then, Mr. Brown, I'm just gonna out to 2025. 3P. Get everything paid. You don't need to come back.
Okay.
That means I like seeing you.
I like seeing you.
All right. Good. All right.
Well, that's good because we spend a lot of time together.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Take care. Wow. Gulf Side Lakes versus Christopher Knapp. Christopher Knapp, he's not here, Mr. Fay.
Yeah, this is an action for non-payment. Mr. Knapp owes $3,745.26 in rent. The costs are $172. Requested a default judgment for possession only in the amount of $3,917.26.
Judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default for possession, redemption amount, in the amount requested with the writ issue in 10 days. Peninsula Place versus Brianna Johnson.
Same for the plaintiff.
Hello. Keep the hands out. All right, what's your name?
Brianna Johnson.
All right. How much do we have over?
$2785.98.
All right, how are we gonna get this paid?
So I got a thing set up with Hawk. We had some communication issues for a couple weeks, but they finally like starting to do something, but I don't know. I guess they waiting on.
They got their act together.
Yeah, something like that. But they told me they just need to hit up the landlord and stuff, and then we just waiting to see after that.
So they need information from the landlord? Yeah. All right, well. Give me an opportunity to get that done. I'm not sure what's entirely going on over there. But May 23rd, 2025, 2 p.m. Okay, in person. Thank you. The Haven versus David Demara.
James Fink for the plaintiff.
Hello, sir. What's your name?
David DeMel.
Okay. And what's his balance?
$1,622.26.
All right. When do you think you can get that?
I got it next Friday. I get paid next Friday. I'm caught up.
Okay, so you get paid on the 23rd?
23rd, yes.
Okay. Would you be able to get it in before the close of business on that date? Or
Yeah.
Well, what time is it? Could you get it in before noon?
Before noon on 23rd Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, get it to the landlord before noon. I'll just, rather than do anything else, I'll just adjourn your case out 1 week, 2 p.m. Okay, if you got it paid, then you don't have to worry about it. I'll have to come back and see.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, take care. The Haven versus Mary Heineman.
James Fink for the plaintiff.
Hello. What's your name?
Mary Heineman.
All right, where are we on our case?
Oh, me or you?
Go ahead.
I've been in communication with Hawk and sent in all the documents that they requested, paid it under 3,000. So I'm waiting to hear what their decision will be.
All right.
I also, sorry, I
Go
start a
ahead.
new job next week. And I won't get my first paycheck until June 15th, but my mom said that if I can get the balance paid off, she'll pay for June. So there is some plans.
Your mom said that?
My mom said that, yeah.
Is that who's with you?
No,
No.
that's my
Oh.
girlfriend.
Pardon?
She's also going through the process. That's my friend.
Got it. Okay. I
Neighbors,
thought maybe they were sitting over there just chatting. I thought I was here. Okay. So, Amy, we could get some clarification. I know that there were people that were in the system, but I also know that there might be funding issues. So when people are telling me that, I'm not sure what to take that as, or.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, especially with this case, I don't have anything more specific to add, other than confirming with her permission that she is working with Caitlin over at SOS. So if Mr. Fink is aware or has received any communication, that would be the caseworker that's been assigned.
All right, thank you. What do you want to do on this?
I didn't hear that she's going to get the money.
Correct.
May we have one moment?
Sure.
Will your mother pay?
I can't like
Yeah,
confirm
you
that.
stay, and by the time we came back in June, you'd have a job and a paycheck.
Right, but I can't speak for her, so I don't know, but it's possible. But then
Are
what
you
would
the
that mean?
youngest?
No, I'm the oldest.
Oh, they
by a
should
lot.
have pay.
It's possible, but I mean, I guess it depends on,
I got 6. I know how this works. Baby gets everything.
yeah.
What are we doing?
I mean, my preference would be to push it as long as possible, but obviously.
course.
How about a redemption date of the 30th or the 31st? That's a Saturday, so it doesn't make that much difference because it'll be Monday before we come back.
So you think you can get that? Let me ask you this. Worst comes to worst, you think you can get this paid by the end of the month?
I'm not certain, honestly. I mean, I'm hoping Hawk will have the funds. I know that they're short on funds. I'm doing what I can with them. I can't say 100%.
When's your first check?
June 15th. I know, it's a ways away.
Amy, I'm going to put you on the spot and just ask you a question. Answer it as vaguely as you want to, but is there anything on the horizon that might look promising and make my job easier?
I think I just want to say that we've also heard that she won't be helped. So I don't know if that helps anything.
She won't be.
Right. I haven't heard that either. So.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Oh, boy. Bauer, what?
I think I've mentioned this to the court before. I became aware of a nonprofit that does a loan for a small amount of back rent. And I think the interest rates are super low and this person has like 3 years to pay it back. So I could try to send this flyer if this, I don't know your name, if she wants to try to explore that option.
I'll explore whatever options are available. I don't know if I'll qualify, but yes. I've also been in touch with or reached out to Friends Indeed. I'm calling all my friends. Like I'm doing it.
I got you.
If you want to wait here, I'll try to find the flyer.
Okay. Great.
Oh, I found it.
Sounds like you're going to adjourn it to the 30th over my objection.
I am. May 30th, 2025, 3 p.m. All right, give you a little bit of breathing room. Get that flyer, see if that works out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Court calls the case of the Haven versus Karina Kessler. Hello, I apologize for misidentifying you.
That's okay. I thought that we had a relationship. I've only been here 4 times in the last year.
You know, and I'm saying, no.
Okay.
Bad joke. You're right. My apologies.
I promise you this is the last time. I just got an amazing job starting
She's
on
got a plan.
Monday.
She's got a plan?
I got a plan. Yes.
We've signed a proposed consent judgment. It calls for rent in the amount of $29.9837, cost of $175 for a total of $31.7337. She is certain that she's going to have it paid by the redemption date of the 27th. And I've seen evidence that she won't have any trouble with that. And she was happy to sign it and not come back. And
Yeah, apparently, because
I think we are all very pleased.
Why not? She doesn't want to come back. All right.
Sir, may I approach and shake your hand?
No objection.
Yes. Thank you.
And I will see you on YouTube.
All right, yes, ma'am. All right. I've signed the judgment. And ma'am, I do have to advise you, if they didn't, you have 3 business days to think about it since you're unrepresented by counsel. If there's some confusion, some misunderstanding, or some right you believe you didn't assert, you'd have to file a motion within those 3 days. All right? You take care of yourself. And Evergreen versus Keith Young, that matter's dismissed. Court does call the case of AT Lakeside or at Lakeside versus Lorianne Patterson. Okay.
Joe Lloyd for the plaintiff. I've talked with the defendant. She's this close, needs 2 more weeks, and I said yes.
All right. Okay. I'll adjourn this to May 30th, 2025 at
May 30th, 1 p.m.
1 p.m. But
All
we
right.
won't be here because we're going to do a dismissal. So
Sounds good.
good. Thank you.
Good seeing you, sir. Case Bushwood Properties versus Craig Mattingly. And Stacy Stovall.
Yes.
Oh, let me go find him for you, Judge.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. David Fantair on behalf of the plaintiff.
And this is Mattingly and Stovall. Where are we on this case?
So since the last time we were here, which was 3 weeks ago, they had made a $450 payment on May 5th, which they said they would. And then Mr. Mattingly just showed me 2 more receipts on his phone of another $750. So total. That takes their total balance down to about $4,000. So what I'd like to do on this case is adjourn it a week. And and he believes he will hear over the next couple of days about whether he gets his job back, because right now the money's is coming from her. So what I'd like to do is get to a point where we can do a payment plan where they pay about $1,500 every month, about $750 every 2 weeks, because that'll put about $600 toward the arrearage. It'll take 6 or 7 months to get down, but it's more than nothing. I mean, it's
got it.
So I got their phone number, and we're going to talk over the next couple of days, and then I will be prepared to submit a conditional dismissal when we come next week. And I told Mr. Mattingly that she needs to be here. Ms. Stovall needs to be here. Either he believes that she might be here by Zoom at that time, but we will have talked ahead of time and had everything. So it'll just putting on the record.
Is that a correct statement? Correct. Ms. Stovall, is that?
I'm sorry.
Him?
You cut out. I'm sorry, sir.
Is that all correct?
Yes.
Do you have any problem? All right. May 23rd, 2025 at 3 p.m. All right, fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Court calls the case of Mrs. Haberkamp versus DeAndre Searcy.
David Fantair on behalf of plaintiff. We were just finishing this one up.
Okay.
So here's where I think we're at. I think we've got an agreement. The amount of rent that's owed is $4,223. There's $175 in court costs for a total of $43.98. He's got $275 right now, but it's on his card. So he's going to turn that into a money order and drop it off. And this is the address you're going to drop it off. 206 North Huron. Take this. And then what he's gonna do, starting in June, he's gonna start paying on the 5th of the month, $750 per month. His rent is basically $275. So by paying the $750, the first $275 will go to the rent, and anything over and above will go toward the arrearage. It'll take a while, but we'll work with him. He's lived there for a while. He's on Section 8. And this was the deal that we talked about last time.
Right.
And so I just need him to sign this conditional dismissal and right there. And then the court will inform you of your rights.
Do you have any questions regarding anything on that conditional order dismissal, sir?
Yeah, he didn't tell me how long my lease up, cause man, I'm getting tired of what I'm staying with. They don't fix nothing and still got people laying in the hallways and everything. It's just a whole bunch of harassment. They hassle me over this money where it's been over like 3 or 4 landlords and they don't get in touch with nobody. But right now, Section 8 on them, cause they not fixing my place. And Section 8 involved they trying to kick me out, and I'm like, they didn't even fix it what they gotta fix for me to order to even pass my my eviction to check the house out.
Okay, so do you want to?
I don't think.
Do you want to enter into this or no?
I do, but $750, that's a lot. That's all my whole
Your
Social
Honor,
Security.
This is the same thing he did last time.
I
which
mean,
is-
I'm okay with it,
which
but
is
I'm just putting the suggestions out there. Cause I only get my Social Security is only like $645, then I get $112. Then I got my tickets I paid off. I gotta find where to do the yard work for that. Washtenaw don't do that no more. I got all this stuff on. That's just like, it's okay, I can pay it, but I think that's too much, even where I had to find a landlord and I got people on my side.
But it sounds to me like you're not agreeing to this.
I'm
So-
agreeing to it. I got to, I ain't got no choice. I can't be kicked out, but I just think, what I'm saying, everything ain't my fault.
Your Honor, may I?
Yes.
Last time we were here, he complained about money that he thought he owed when Beal managed.
When I'm telling you now.
So I took that off.
Mm-hmm.
We got management back, MTH did, in December of 2023. Since that time, there's 18 months. He's made exactly 3 payments.
Cause I didn't know who to pay it to. They
Well,
didn't tell us when they switched landlord. They didn't tell the whole business, oh, we doing switching landlord like a business supposed to do. Here's the note on the door for everybody.
So if you want me to enter this, then I will. If not, and you're not in agreement, then I won't enter it. And I'll set it for trial.
But if we have a trial, it'll be a number and he'll have to pay it. Because this is what happened last time, which is we came to an agreement and then we got to the podium and.
I would say, I'll do an agreement. I'm just saying, like, I just want to put my point across. I got the right to speak, but I just think, I'm gonna pay it. But.
Okay, so you want me to enter this conditional order of dismissal?
He ain't gonna bring it down no
Do you
more.
have any questions regarding anything that's on?
No, that's it.
All right. Gonna sign off on this.
Just make sure you can't.
3 business days to think about this. If you believe that there's some legal reason, some right you didn't assert, or some confusion on your part, you'd have to file a motion with the court within that time frame. That doesn't mean that I would set it aside, but you have that time to do so. You understand that? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So it's 206 North Huron?
Yes.
Sycamore Meadows versus Tamara Jackson.
Good afternoon, Runner. Attorney Carrie Zandon on behalf of plaintiff. Plaintiff moves for dismissal without prejudice on this one, and I'm just mailing it to your court right now.
Okay, case is dismissed. That's without one. Court calls case of Sycamore Meadows versus Tyrod LaFleur.
Carrie Zandon on behalf of plaintiff.
Hello, sir. What's your name? Tyrod LaFleur. Where are we on this?
Judge, I'm showing that rent is $1,100.03 or $1,103. Court costs of $190, so $1,293.
All right. Sir, how do you intend on getting that paid?
Me and Hawk are still waiting on them to give us the ledger and the other information they need.
Pardon?
Hawk,
Hawk is waiting on a ledger. Judge, I got him this afternoon. I can send it to Amy if she.
All right. And we'll see where they are.
Yeah,
So I'll adjourn this matter to. Why don't we just do 1 week out and see where they are? So it's 23rd,
sounds good.
2025 at
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Court calls the case Sycamore Meadows versus Erica Jemerson.
Again, Carrie Zanon on behalf of plaintiff.
There she is. She was tucked away and back over there. Come on. Hello. All right.
So Judge, I just received the ledger as well on this one. I'm showing $3,726, court costs of $190. So the total is $3,916. Ms. Jemerson, did you?
That's not true.
Okay. How much do you think you will?
The judgment that you signed was for 2,400.
Oh, this is one that we've been carrying over.
Yeah, and then my rent is $0 since 2024, so 37. I don't know where that came from.
Okay, I signed that judgment that I signed back in, when did your rent go to 0?
September of 2024. They just making up numbers.
Ms. Jemerson? Oh,
All right.
I'm showing that she's $63, Your Honor.
pardon?
I'm showing that rent is $63 for Ms. Jemerson.
Okay, but even if it's 63 as opposed to 0, I think what her point is how do I get to 30, what was it?
3,700.
Understand, Judge.
Well, to 39, just so that clear, how do I get to 3916 when in February there was a judgment for 2414?
Judge, I will, can we adjourn this 1 week so I can go over the numbers with my client? And then I will hopefully have
I'll adjourn this then to March
May.
2000 or 23rd.
You said March, that's why. Sorry.
No, I was staring at the next date
I know.
after the February date.
Thank you.
May 23rd, 2025 at 3 p.m. Okay, and then let them take a look at where these numbers are coming from. But I get your point.
I will have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jemerson. Don't come in here yelling again. Like that, all right? You come back here yelling, we're gonna have a problem. You take, you do the same. Okay, legal services on the rest of these?
Yes, Judge. I'm pretty sure we are.
All right.
All the rest are because I double checked with.
Sycamore Meadows versus Tabria Story.
Carrie Zanon on behalf of plaintiff.
Emily Bill on behalf of defendant.
Okay, and what are we doing on this one?
Judge, we've agreed to stipulate to adjourn this. Because I did get the ledgers today, I haven't had a chance. I was on the west side today this morning and I came straight here. So I'm going to get ledgers to counsel on all of the ones that are up for today. I have them. I just need to get them over to them.
So are we adjourning all of these?
We are.
Okay,
Am I correct?
Yes. Yes.
all right.
Yes.
So all of the Sycamore Meadows.
When to adjourn them.
Council asked for them to come to be scheduled for, Ms. Bauer and I were chit-chatting yesterday, and she asked for them to be set on the 20th, which I think we already, we have 7 of them already up. So
20th
of May, Judge.
Oh, to take on final settlement conference day.
Our concern, Your Honor, is that, as you know, Hawk is running out of money, and a lot of these clients have done their applications, and we've just been waiting for ledgers, and we are concerned if it goes out further, that if there is an opportunity still to get the money, it could disappear by then. And the other thing is, a Tuesday would give us just more opportunity to discuss the individual cases possibly. And a week from Tuesday, I'm out of the state.
And my problem is I have not just your docket, I have 2 other courts that I have to get to. And so that's where my problem is. I will make sure that I get the ledgers to Ms. Bauer and Ms. Ruel as well today. But for me to be able to handle 12 files or 13 files on Tuesday is going to be little stressful.
Can I just ask, do you have access to the research as well, or only the ledgers?
I have the ledgers. I can ask for the research. Everything that you guys have asked for, I just want the court to know I have asked immediately, and I apologize, even though
We're
it's
not
out of,
pointing anything or saying.
it's totally out of my realm of control, which does not.
What I'm gonna do, I mean, I understand the hot money issue, but they're either gonna have it or not. I mean, that's just a cold hard, and I don't think 10 days is gonna make a darn difference. So I'm gonna adjourn these to the 30th.
Judge, can we approach on some, not just something that I need to tell, can we approach the three of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Record is clear. I'm adjourning all of the Sycamore Meadows cases, the remaining cases, to May 30th, 2025. 12. Thank you. That's it, boss.
What was the time?
I'm sorry,
May 30th at what time?
at 12 noon.
Okay.
Okay?
All
Thank
right.
you, Ms. McCoy. Court does call the case of Ryan Berrenter versus Mary Barney.
Good morning, Your Honor. Shannon Urban via Zoom on behalf of Ryan Barrenter.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. David Fanter on behalf of Mary Barney.
All right. And where are we on this, folks?
I filed an answer.
Yes.
We have a couple of defenses to at least part of the claim. And I would like a settlement conference maybe in a couple of weeks. My client's currently in jail. We hope to get out. We hope to have an idea of when she'll be out over the next couple of weeks and get her out. And then I would like to, as you know, there's a program designed to help people with rental assistance who have had run-ins with the criminal justice system. And I want to see if maybe she's eligible for that. So I think Mr. Urban and I will disagree about this, but I would ask for a settlement conference in a couple of weeks.
And your position?
We would just ask for it to be scheduled for trial as soon as possible.
All right. Well, I set final settlement conferences for trial. I really don't have one in 2 weeks out. 10.
June 10th.
I'll set a final settlement conference June 10th, 2025 at 9 a.m. That's in person. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm going to be in Florida on June 10th. I'll be gone that whole week.
Wow. Okay. That whole week?
Yes. Good old
Well,
Disney World.
next one. So the next one is 17.
No, because that's the PCC date, the next one's not till July 1st.
Oh, no.
Goodness. If I could appear via Zoom, I could do the 10th.
I usually don't let that happen, but otherwise, my problem's gonna be, otherwise I'm gonna push you out to the July 1st. And I don't want to do that, so.
I'm okay with her appearing by Zoom. We've talked a couple of times, so hopefully we'll have a better idea of a resolution by that point.
All right. June 10th, 2025, 9 a.m.
Great. Thank you very much, Honor. Have a good weekend.
All right, thank you. Let's call the case of, is it Shakes Corbin or Corbin Shakes? Corwin Shakes versus Bernadette Young.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Nicole Jami, 85399 on behalf of Mr. Shakes. Apologize, my voice, I'm coming off of a cold.
Do that. Hello, your name?
Bernadette Young.
All right, this is a termination case. And where are the parties in relation to this case?
Your Honor, Mr. Shakes is on via Zoom right now. He lives out of the state.
Yes. All right. There was no lease on this premises?
No, Your Honor. The notice was mailed to her on March 5th We gave personal service of the complaint on April 22nd. We've given way more than enough time that's necessary under the law. We would just I'm ready to proceed with the hearing on this matter if it's necessary.
Well, except for the fact that she's a tenant at will or by sufferance. And I don't have the proof of service copy of the notice to quit, but you've indicated notice to quit was mailed on March 5th.
That should have been in the packet.
But, okay, it's not there, but that's okay. I have a copy of the notice to quit, but not the service copy, but based upon your representation that it was mailed on the 5th, there's a problem because it indicates that she has to move by March 30th, which would mean she was not given 30 days.
Wait, hold on, hold on 1 second. We didn't file the complaint until April 22nd.
Oh, right.
Like I held off on
I
filing
get
for
that.
that reason.
Pardon?
We held off on filing for that reason.
Well, that doesn't correct the notice. I understand you may have held off filing, but that doesn't correct the notice. The notice has to give 30 days. And the notice has to be proper for this court to have subject matter jurisdiction. The problem is by not doing that, I don't have subject matter jurisdiction over this at this point. And when I don't have subject matter jurisdiction, my only option at that point is to dismiss.
Well, wait 1 second, Your Honor. Hold on a second. Let me just clarify something very quickly. Because that doesn't sound correct. Your Honor, can we have a brief, pass this very briefly?
Sure.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I'm gonna pass the matter, so you can have a seat. Then I'll call you back up.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Living room yoga versus Jordan Harlequin. Pardon?
Afternoon, Your Honor. Stephen Jensen appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Harlequin.
Okay, and I have before me a consent judgment. And do you have any questions regarding this consent judgment?
I don't believe so, no.
All right.
I requested aid. I didn't, I'm
sorry?
I requested aid from DHS.
Hold on a second. He's got it quiet. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I requested aid from DHS and I hadn't received any notification from them until a couple of hours ago. I had to call them and they emailed me denying, saying they're having issues proving my identity. So I have to resubmit again.
Okay. I gotcha.
And I'm hoping that the 30 days will give the defendant enough time to get this.
How many people are in your house?
It's just me in my unit.
Pardon?
It's just me in my unit.
Okay. So that you know that DHS award, the maximum that's used with a person is $410.
Okay.
Because it's kind of a misnomer of saying it's state emergency relief. You think that they're going to.
I wasn't sure. I received an
okay.
injury and was unable to work. And I was told that that was the best way to try and get the help that I needed.
Yes, you can do that. The other thing that you may want to do is you may want to reach out to Housing Access for Washtenaw County since you have this time here. But their funding is very low or non-existent at this point, but that doesn't mean that more funding might not come in. And so you might want to get yourself in line, if nothing else regarding it. I can't guarantee anything there. But the one thing with theirs is that typically if the money's there, you have to get this amount down to 3,000.
Okay.
And then they will, if you're if you're eligible for the max of 3,000, then you have to get the balance down to that. Okay, so I'd suggest you do that. Did you, I don't know if you. It's 961. Just give the 961-1999, the phone number. We'll give something.
Okay,
Okay. All right. You have any other questions regarding this?
I don't believe so.
All right. We'll sign that. I will advise you that since this is a consent judgment, you're unrepresented by counsel. You have 3 business days to think about this. We believe that there's some legal reason, some right you didn't assert, or some confusion. You'd have to file a motion with the court within that time frame to set it aside. Doesn't mean that I would, but you have that time to do that. Okay?
Yes.
Very good. And we'll get that.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you. Court calls the case of Moorville Road 10489 versus David Kashan.
Good afternoon, Judge. Scott Munzel appearing on behalf of plaintiff Moorville Road, and with me is Joe Maynard. He's one of the co-owners of Moorville Road.
All right. And sir, your name?
Dave Pecan, P-I-C-H-A-N.
All right.
And the judge, if I could just jump ahead, this was a land contract forfeiture action based on some buildings that Mr. Pecan had constructed without permits. We were here 2 weeks ago. He agreed to remove them. He's removed almost everything. And so I guess what I would ask, and we've discussed it, would be to, there's 2 things I want to mention. One would be to set it, to adjourn the hearing for another 2 weeks so that we can confirm that he has finished cleaning everything up. And the township also wants to drive by and make sure that he's got everything removed. The second part is that we did ask for the land contract does allow for the award of attorney's fees and costs to pursue this. And, we've been working on it for quite a while. So we would like to still ask for, that part of in a judgment. But if he's able to clean everything up, we would be able to dismiss the land contract forfeiture action altogether, but we'd still like to try and have a judgment for the attorney's fees and the costs. So I'm not quite sure what the best way to do that would be, but
I'm not either, but we can figure it out.
Okay.
I wouldn't award them today in any event if you're going to do that.
Okay.
Sir, is that a correct statement that you'll have it in a couple of weeks? All right. Then what I will do is I'll adjourn this. That you want the 30th or the 6th?
I think we'd like the 30th.
30th. May 30th, 2025 at 1 p.m. Okay.
Okay. Is that in person, Judge?
That is in person.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Court calls the case of Town Center Place versus Viola Hines.
Oh, yeah.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wasserman. Oh, there she is. She's in person.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Ms. Hines.
Hi.
All right. Where are we now on this case?
Well, Judge, I know Ms. Hines has been working with an agency. We've provided information to that agency, so I don't know how quickly they're going to pay. Maybe Ms. Hines knows.
I reached out to Jewish Family Services, and Alicia with SOS was supposed to get in touch with her because she needed to know what they were going to pay, and whatever they balance, if there was a balance left, then Jewish Family Services was going to take care of the rest of it. And I did set my rent up for auto pay. I can't tell the office because I'm not allowed to talk to them right now.
Okay, so your rent is set up on auto pay, so next month.
Yes.
This back balance, however, is it still at 1185?
No, Judge, we're now in May, so it is 1301 plus 177.40 in court costs for a total of 1478.40.
1478.40, okay. All right. So I guess the part of the problem here is you're saying, Ms. Hines, Hawk was supposed to contact Jewish Family Services to see
Yes.
what they were gonna do,
Mhm.
and then Jewish Family Services would be looking to cover.
Right, what they
Now.
didn't, yes, whatever they didn't pay, they were gonna pay it.
Okay,
And-
so here's gonna be the hiccup in this. I think Hawk is very low, if not out of funding. So. I mean, if Jewish Family Services knows that, are they gonna pay this whole balance, or how's that working?
She didn't say, she just told me, since SOS was working with it, on it, to find out what they were gonna pay
Okay.
and let them know.
Who was your,
Alicia,
at SOS?
and
Okay,
she said she didn't know.
she didn't, who said she didn't know?
Alicia at SOS told me she didn't know what they were gonna pay.
Okay,
So she didn't reach out to Jewish Family Services. I emailed her, just before I came today.
okay,
Judge,
Amy? Is there any way we could get Alicia to reach out to Jewish Family Services and just indicate what the circumstance or situation is, or?
Your Honor, the only notes I'm having, and if it's okay with Ms. Hines to share with you,
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
it seems that Alicia really only needed to confirm that Ms. Hines had set up auto pay from the landlord's end, are the notes that I'm showing. Other than that, I don't have anything denying payment. I also don't have a number to
Okay.
confirm either.
Okay,
Yes.
so they're needing proof that you set up the auto pay.
Okay, I emailed her last night and told her I did
Okay,
it.
so that may be why. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
you emailed her last
She
night.
emailed me back today
Got it.
and asked me if I told the landlord, and I told her, no, I have a lawsuit with him because I hurt my shoulder in the apartment. And so my attorneys told me I couldn't talk to him.
Okay, that's fine. Mr. Wasbury now knows that it's that. So the auto pay is set up, and then we're just waiting for somebody to make a decision. Is that where we are?
So it looks like the note is if client can set up auto pay from the landlord's end. That's really all the notes I have.
Okay,
And I'm not sure how that pertains to the payout. Obviously, the amount is much under, is quite under the cap, so I don't think that that's really the hang.
yeah. Okay. All right, well, I think the thing is, can you get somebody from Jewish Family Services maybe to reach out to?
Yes,
Okay, why don't we try the reverse of it? Let me put it out 1 week to the 23rd,
okay,
2025 at 12 noon. And let's see if the communication won't go that way, we can get it to go that way.
okay,
And get a better understanding of what's gonna happen.
all right.
All right?
Thank you, John. You
Thank
have
you.
a good weekend.
Thank you, Mr. Wasbury.
permission to appear by Zoom next Friday?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too. Linden Park versus Bruce Bengry.
Hello, Your Honor. Emily Brule for defendant.
Joy Whitty appearing on behalf of plaintiff, Your Honor.
All right. And where are we on this?
Your Honor, I just got this case yesterday, so we'd like to adjourn it out 2 weeks to the 30th.
Any objection?
Plaintiff does not object, Your Honor.
Oh, well. May 30th, 2025 at 1 p.m.
Thank you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Ingmai Shen versus Fatima Stevens.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jay McCurgy, PA 3218, on behalf of plaintiff.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, of Fatima Stevenson on behalf of herself.
All right. Determination, and where are we on this?
We've reached a consent order for conditional dismissal. Ms. Stevenson agrees to move out by the 13th of June.
Okay. All right.
Possession, and should that happen,
The case would remain dismissed.
remain dismissed.
All right. Got a correct statement, ma'am?
That is correct. Pursuant to an earlier conversation that we had this morning, I was informed that Ms. Shen actually intends to sell the property imminently. So that course corrected my approach, and so we came to an understanding.
All right. Any other questions you have on this conditional dismissal, ma'am?
As of this moment, I do not.
All right. Well, sign the conditional order dismissal. I would indicate to you that since you're unrepresented by counsel, you have 3 business days to think about this. If there's some legal reason, some right you didn't assert, some confusion or misunderstanding on your part, you'd have to file a motion within that 3 business days. That doesn't mean that I would set it aside, but you do have those 3 business days to think about.
I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Have a good rest of your afternoon.
You do the same.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Court does call the case Donald Hammond versus Angela Hammond. Is it your? No one's here on this case. All right. It's clear here on notice for 2 or 12-6. Judgment set aside here. Just previous, neither party's here. The parties didn't appear the last time. What are we here for? We're here on a termination here. Well, neither party appeared. Case dismissed. They worked it out. Court recalls the case if they're ready. Corwin Shakes versus Bernadette Young.
Yes, Your Honor, Nicole Ajami, 85399, again on behalf of the plaintiff. Your Honor, I see where the issue was. My assistant had sent it over to be delivered personally on the 28th, which is the date I authorized it to go. Did not mail it until Monday the 3rd. So the notice, yes, is off by 2 days. There's 28 days. However, we did not file this complaint until April 15th. We have email communications with Ms. Young about, she knew, like she was emailing back and forth stating, I received your notice. Please give me more time. I'm looking for housing. And again, I know the notice is defective, but please ask this court to recognize that she had noticed, she was communicating with us. My assistant had sent out, I'm sorry, I already said that, Your Honor. And I would just ask this court to please allow that.
Yeah, no, I hear you, counsel, and it would be an
Can we
invalid
amend it
judgment.
and can we adjourn and amend? Can we do that?
That the one thing that really cannot be corrected is the notice. Because that time period has to run prior to the filing of the complaint, but the notice has to, no, hold on. But the defendant has to have that time period in that notice. Right? So otherwise, what, quite frankly, from a practical standpoint, you would end up with 2-week notices to people because people can't get before the court till X time in any event. But so you have to give them a 30-day notice, then file. I don't have, I understand, I think it may be a day, it may be 2 days, but that's the only way that the court, this court can assume subject matter jurisdiction over the case is by the filing of a proper notice statutorily. So.
I understand.
All right, this being the case, the court lacks subject matter jurisdiction. this case is dismissed. Ma'am, I would assume, so that you know, I'm dismissing this case. It's without prejudice as to the issue. So my assumption is that they are going to begin these proceedings again. So they're gonna be back. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, folks.